Welcome, everybody, to the CrossFire podcast. We are live. It is Friday night. And you know what? Tonight's not one of those regular nights we're going to do a show. Tonight's going to be a little something special. We had an outstanding show last night in the Video Game Awards, and I'm going to get into that in a second. I want to say thank you to everybody. Please, if you're here, shout out to Lethal Pop. I see some great people. Shout out to Ben Law. A bunch of great guys here in the chat here already. Z Blackrider, great to have you here. Guys, make sure you tweet it out, let everybody know. Also, something that Mooch did, I went and I made memberships. Now there's somebody that's on our panel. It's Forte. Forte, you have to mute your mic. Nonetheless, I went ahead and I made memberships to the channel. You see the join button right above the description. So feel free, guys. I have emotes that were made. I'll be right back. Thank you, Forte. So that being said, we have emotes that were made by the great Sean LeBray. If you guys don't know, Sean LeBray has done so much work for all of us in the gaming community and on YouTube. So shout out to Sean LeBray. He's made custom Mooch emotes. If you do join the channel, you get those and you get to utilize them in the chat every single week. That being said, let me get to this amazing star-studded panel that I put together. I will start with the one, the only, one of the original usual suspects. It's Xbot448. Xbot, how the hell are you doing tonight?
Yo, what is going on, Mooch? Mooch, for my intro, I just want to give you credit, man. Because, you've done it again. In a week with such slow gaming news,
yes,
you have found topics for us to get into.
Absolutely.
Interesting topics as well, man. I cannot wait to get into this, dude. You did it again.
I appreciate the compliment. Thank you. Wilmy, thank you very much for becoming a major Mooch maniac nonetheless. And you guys are going to get a lot of Wilmy tonight because Wilmy's on the panel. We're going to get to that in 1 second. But then I've got another great panel member here. Hard to get him on the show because of his work schedule. I got Slow-Mo Backslap here with us. Slow-Mo, I want to welcome you onto the show again. I know it's tough with your schedule. I appreciate you being here. How the hell you been?
Man, I'm doing pretty good, man. You know, like I feel new and like just regenerated. Like I'm like Slow-Mo Series Z over here or something. You know, I'm just having a good time.
It was that Fast and Furious game, man. That's what it was.
Oh no, it wasn't that. If it was that, I'd be on my deathbed because that game looks like doo-doo butter. It looks like it looks like Vin Diesel developed and funded that game all by himself. That's how bad that game looks.
We had such a good time on Brap, Slow-Mo, and me and you just started getting into some good conversation back and forth, and it was a 3-hour show. We'll blame the one and only Enrique from Brap himself on the show. Enrique, you took us for 3 hours, okay, on Wednesday night with no warning.
You know what? I was surprised too.
Yeah, so were we on a Thursday morning at work.
Exactly.
Nonetheless, Enrique, welcome to the show, buddy. Great to have you here.
No, it's great to be here. I'm here for the Xbox sex, so I'm really excited.
Wow. I hope you brought protection. Listen, here's the thing, okay? I got news for you. My next guest member tonight, honestly, it's an honor. It is a privilege to introduce Lord Cognito from the Iron Lords podcast. Lord Cognito, as I always say when you come back on the Crossfire, it's been way too long. So welcome back to the show.
Oh, man, absolute pleasure. Mooch, the realm of Crossfire is super lit today. I get to see some faces and hear some people that I haven't heard from in a while. Man, I cannot wait for this show. We got a lot to talk about. Thanks for having me, brother. Cannot wait. Super excited.
Absolutely. And then another special guest that I have here tonight, and I will get into what this gentleman has taught me and actually got me excited for VR. And in a way that you'll never understand, he's also got his own podcast channel, Wilmy Hood. Wilmy, welcome back to the show, as I like to refer you to as the Southern Mooch. Welcome back, buddy. How are you tonight?
I am doing great, man. Glad to be here, and I am honored to be on a podcast with Mr. Lord Cognito himself.
Yes.
I'm humbled.
Salute, brother.
I've been watching these guys for a long time, so it's a big honor to be on the podcast with just him.
Much appreciated, brother.
And I'll take Slow-Mo and everybody else.
You'll deal with them. Thank you for tolerating them. Thank you.
Mooch, you're all right. Listen,
it's okay.
Fantastic. Great to have you here tonight, Wilmy. And then I'm going to actually borrow a slogan from the king himself from Iron Lords podcast. We have our own Noximus Maximus Spectaculous. Nox, welcome to the show, buddy. How the hell are you tonight?
Pretty good, pretty neat, baby. Noximus One here, and like the Xbox One Sex or Xbox Sex Edition. I stand erect and tall and ready to let it just go all the way. Let's get it, baby.
Friday night is lit.
Oh, everybody had their B12 shot tonight. Last but certainly not least.
I've got the Vino. CrossFire's got the panel. Mooch is setting it on fire. Let's get it, baby. Let's go.
That's what I'm talking about, Knox. I love that energy. Thank you so much. And then last but certainly not least, the man that you heard during the introductions, dropping his own mic, but he's here for you. It's Gaming Forte. Forte, how the hell are you tonight, brother?
What's up, guys? Hey, man. Pretty excited. Great day. Everything has been amazing. Twitter has been pretty pleasant over the last couple of days on one side, so I'm looking forward to what we got to talk about today.
Well, listen, Forte, I'm glad you bring that up. Now, and I want to say this, and I'm going to go to Lord Cognito first. You know, I'm going to you first. Lord, you put me on the seat. You always put me on the hot seat when I come into the realm of the Iron Lord. So, you know, I got to be honest with you. This is something you've never heard me say over the years that we've all known each other, okay?
Let's go.
I enjoyed all 3 hours last night. 3.5, if you will. 8:30, okay? What a fantastic show. I'm tipping my cap to Jeff Keighley. Put all your feelings about Jeff Keighley aside.
Yes.
What an outstanding show. They got rid of some of the nuances, the small awards we really don't care for so much, right? They got rid of those in the first half hour by the great Sydney. Fantastic Sydney from IGN. She's great. Right? Yeah, exactly. Thank you, Enrique. We have built-in sound effects on the show, folks. But I got to say, so that was fantastic. Loved the musical acts. Loved the way they had the presenters come out. That being said, Lord Cognito, do me a favor. Before we get into the technical part of what we're going to get into with, you know, Xbox One, or pardon me, the Xbox X, Series X and all that greatness. What did you think of the show from what we've seen in the development of the past 5 years since Jeff's kind of taken over?
I mean, you nailed it. I mean, first of all, yes, it was 3 hours, but I felt the pacing was really good.
Yes.
At the end of the day, as a gamer, this is a celebration of video games. This is our Oscars, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
For me, regardless to how I may feel about little things, you know, maybe Jeff may do that I didn't agree with, at the end of the day, I've always said this. I am thankful that the show exists. I'm thankful that gaming is where we are right now. We got the sponsorships. I mean, that was a production. So from start to finish, we'll get into the reveals, we'll get into the big topics. But I felt overall as a show was a celebration of video games, and I'm proud to be a part of it. That's what I'm talking about, where gaming gets to this level where we're talked about on the mass scale. So I thought it was fantastic.
Isn't it not? And guys, feel free to jump in on the panel. There's no round table here on Crossfire. You jump in when you're ready. But I mean, in all honesty, guys, to me personally, this was the game awards that we deserve. That's what Lord Cognito's saying. We deserve this because, to be honest with you, it's always kind of felt like just this like after school special that was put on, right? And now we've got Hollywood, we've got Emmy style, we've got Oscar style. What do you think, Enrique? I hear you chopping at the bit.
You know, Mooch. You know what's interesting is that this by far is the best Game Award show that Keighley's put together, and he was involved in some other ones. You know, the previous iterations of the Game Award show. But the one thing that I really took away from the show, this is also a huge stage for announcements now. We're talking about announcements that you would see at E3. This is happening at the award show now. This thing has gone to a complete new level, and I love it. As a gamer, I love it. Our Oscars, we're seeing these big announcements. We saw Microsoft have a mic drop moment that is typically reserved for E3 at the Game Awards. I think this just only amplifies how important I think this show is now to the industry. And just I can't say enough. Hats off to Keighley. Even though Kojima had, VIP parking up front,
he got to, where he got to sit.
We're not going to talk about that.
But you know what, Enrique, I agree with you wholeheartedly, dude. Like we've seen this from its infancy, and I give props to Jeff Keighley, even though I think he's the worst part of the show. And not for nothing, I just think he needs to bring up his skills. Like I like the way he interacted with the Mirage character. That shit was dope. Like
that was dope.
That was off the hook. The way he did that.
Yo, the timing was good on that, man.
Yes, excellently timed. The orchestra was on the money. The show was phenomenal. I can't even. It looked so high class. It looked like what I've been wanting it to look like.
Production value, yeah.
you know,
for 5 years.
When it comes down to it, just real quick, I just want to say I don't get into awards, but I do tune into the VGAs for the announcements and stuff like that. But the little things that they did with like Beaker and stuff like that,
all of that was hot.
I was actually entertained.
I was gonna say that's a good thing, Xbot, right?
That's a great.
Yes,
yes.
It was good instead of cringe because it's been cringe in the
past.
Yes, but that was actually funny. Like I was in a party chat and we were watching that, and I can tell like and Forte backed me up. We were all kind of like, really, they got Muppets out here initially, and then it was just like. Oh, that's kind of funny.
We did have one cringe moment though, right?
Was, like laughing because it's hilarious. It was pretty funny, you know. It was good.
Bro, it was.
With Xbox,
I
the
enjoyed
production value was, you know, it reminded me of. I don't watch award shows either, but it reminded when I have watched them. It reminded me of what you would see from like an Oscars. I mean, maybe not exactly.
It was a 5-star show. It was a 5-star show.
It was well paced. I was kind of fading a little bit doing Green Day. Maybe it was just because Green Day.
You respect the legends. Respect the legends.
Right, come on now.
You had the new album. Stop
on. Put the knives back. Put the knives
You gotta
back.
admit, this is not the same Green Day, man.
That's exactly what I'm saying. This ain't Green Day from like early 2000s when I was, you know.
You respect the stationary movements and the mic control. He's older now. You respect that.
I was like, yo, can somebody turn his mic up? Because he real hoarse right now, you know. Like, no, he's trying to get out there. I'm like, yo, can anyone hear this dude? But I mean, like, I was kind of fading a little bit there. But I mean, that was like two and a half hours in. It took 2.5 hours in for me to start fading. So that means it was a really good show.
I started fading too about 2.5 hour mark.
Look, man, they just kept talking about Green Day the whole show. I was like, man, when Green Day gonna come out so we can fall asleep for a second? I was like,
Green Day was dope though.
No, Luca was in the party like, man, Green Day, please come up so I can go brush.
Yeah, but you gotta, Forte, you gotta look at it for a second, right? There was Green Day, and then there was Mooch on the violin was the next act. So you know what I mean? They had to promote Green Day. I get that. And let's be honest, guys. Let's call it what it is, right? So 2.5 hours in, I'm not gonna lie to you. Even though I said this full 3 hours, I enjoyed. The reason I say that is because whether you're talking about even the Emmys or the Oscars, I don't care if we're talking about the ESPYs. After 2.5 hours, we all start drifting off at that point. You know that's the last part, right? Now.
What happened was in the beginning of the show, within the first half hour, 45 minutes, something happened that took everybody's energy. So by 2.5 hours in, everybody was like, it was a good show, though, man.
It wasn't just Xbox, though. It was a lot of stuff. Like, they showed the new trailer for Final Fantasy VII Remake.
Yeah, they did a lot of shit.
They were showing a lot of fire. Then they showed Godfall. It was just like, that first hour, I was like,
look,
I was standing at attention, you know.
That first hour and a half, because even the preview was dope. Like that little preview,
the preview was great. Let's be honest, we gotta give that to Sydney real quick, okay? Doggy Dog, shout out to Doggy Dog. He says the super chat works. Thank you, Doggy, for proving it. Happy holidays to Mooch and the crew, and also shout out to one of the greatest Mooch maniacs out there, Sir X Man. Thank you so much. Also a member of the channel along with Wilmy. He says I like the way that. Got a little the little awards out of the way and that half-hour prequel. Absolutely, that was the way to do Xbox Series X all day.
Absolutely,
that's the way to do the show. It was done properly,
and the esports was kind of pushed to the side, which I didn't mind.
That's totally fine.
They did that trash before the show started.
I agree with Mooch. They did it very elegantly,
very
quickly. Got through the fodder. Get through the fodder quickly. Give them their just dues. Give Destiny their shit. You know what I mean? Give them their shit.
I'm glad you said that, man.
Woo!
Let it be the first one and get it on up out of here. They did
easy division.
They did the Destiny one before they did the East.
Listen, what they did when there was nobody in the crowd. So what they did when nobody was in the crowd. We got to get the recognition.
We take our wins.
That's right. That's right. I'm looking for Vex Transformers. I'm looking for Vex Transformers. I don't know about you guys.
You know what? You know what, though, guys? Real quick, I want to say one thing. You know what's interesting is that I think this show also had kind of a more mainstream feel to it, which I'm okay with, because if you think about it, if you compare gaming to movies and music, it's like it's bigger than those things, and we don't have a show on that level of the Oscars or the Grammys. Nothing like that until now.
Well, Jeff Keighley made sure that we have one, and Reggie Fils-Aimé put it very good. When he put it very bluntly, very out there. He did. It's the truth. It is the truth. It is bigger. It is bigger than movies. It is bigger than TV.
Yes. Thank you.
Did you see the stars that were sitting in that goddamn row? That shit looked phenomenal.
You know what? That's something to be said there. You had Vin Diesel, you had Steph Curry there. You had that gentleman that was there from that one show who he did one of the early presenters, and pardon me for that. What is it, Westworld? I don't know what he was from.
Yes, he's the director of Westworld.
Right.
Yes.
So they had
Was it Elon Musk there?
Elon Musk.
He was in the audience.
He didn't know when to sit down or stand up. He must have been high on something, but nonetheless.
Look, man.
Right?
Oh, he was coming down, man.
The only bad thing about that whole show was the fact that they let Vin Diesel come out there and show that PS2 looking game.
Oh,
Hey, does anybody really believe Vin Diesel plays video games?
there you go.
No.
No,
He plays Tekken.
You know me? Yeah, Tenkin. Was it Tenkin?
I do.
I think he plays.
He did. He did.
the game studio.
Yes, he did. He made his own game studio that flopped, other than Chronicles of Riddick. But he did make his own game studio. So did Kirk Schilling, the pitcher.
Wait. Not. He had nothing. He made that game studio, but that game studio, I can't remember which studio they came from. But the majority of those devs were veteran devs from a different studio that already had pedigree.
Yeah,
that's why that Riddick game was so good.
But he put his guap in the slow-mo. He believed in that shit. You know what I mean?
He believed in it because it was Riddick. So like that, it's his.
Riddick was fire though.
It's his. Yeah, it's his brand though. That's his brand. Like he owns the Riddick intellectual property in Hollywood. So of course he's all into it because it's Riddick. He's all into this Fast and Furious game because it's Fast and Furious and he's an executive producer.
Right.
If he's a real gamer, he'd look at that game and be like, "Yo, what is this?" Because that's not even good for mobile.
We're turn 10.
No, man, that's
turn 10 to make me some good looking cars.
When they first said Fast and Furious, remember the first Fast and Furious DLC that came out as a quick little like DLC for Forza
Horizon 2.
Right. So I thought we were going to see this kind of like latch on to Forza Horizon 4. So when I saw it was its own standalone game, I thought that was just really weird. I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to the midnight release for Tenkin too. So if you guys want to meet me out there.
Savage.
Yeah.
Nonetheless,
I don't know what that is. That must have been when I went to bust a pipe. So Tenkin 2. If Barbie and Ken ain't involved, I don't know what the hell y'all talking about.
No, what's her name? Rosaria Dawson.
Yeah.
Rosario Dawson. Yes.
Yeah, she said me and Vin play all the time. We played all this.
Oh no, that's Michelle Rodriguez.
Michelle Rodriguez. Yes.
Michelle Rodriguez.
She said it. She said, basically, she said, we always game. We played during, like, breaks on the set and this and that, blah, blah, blah. And she goes, my favorite game was Tenkin. And we're like, what?
That sounds suspect. Doesn't that sound suspect? When you have to go out on stage and prove your gaming credentials. Yeah, we game. We play game.
Yeah.
Don't get Tekken wrong.
You shouldn't be proving a fraud within 5 seconds of talking.
That's true.
Clearly, you don't play Tenkin all the time. You don't know how to pronounce
That gave it away. They gave it away slow.
Yeah.
Maybe she's playing with 10 Kens, bro.
She's playing a different kind of game.
We don't know. That woman live.
Knocks him the booster seat.
It's Friday.
You know what I mean?
I don't know about you guys, but I grew up playing Street Smiter 4.
Shout out real quick to Sir X-Man, who says it's like Jeff Keighley took a hint from Microsoft and just went to games. He went games, awards to keep the flow. Absolutely, Sir X-Man.
And that was an excellent job.
I also how they chose to present, what they chose to actually do an award on stage. It was the awards that we cared about more than the ones that didn't. So like the ones that were like, the esports, but even some of those other ones like best artistic direction of the third person camera, like we don't care about that all that much. So Keighley just got that one out the way. Like he did like 3 or 4 really quickly. Here's another game review that you actually care about. I was like,
best microtransaction of the year.
Yeah, exactly. EA again. Darn it, they always win that.
EA always wins. They're the only ones nominated for that.
Don't forget gaming tweet of the year.
Oh yeah.
Cringe. Oh my god! Like, what is this? Like, they need to just cut that. Don't do that ever again.
Hey, how do you become an esports manager? That's what I want to know. That seems like big bucks. Like, that can't be hard. Like, what do you do? Hit the A button harder. Come on, guys.
Go look at that documentary that what's the name for the Dallas Mavericks did. He talked about owning, like, why he doesn't own an esports team and how much money gets sucked into that.
Yeah.
Apparently there's a big.
He said it's worth billions of dollars, but he said only across seas, not in America. If you get into it overseas, it's big.
It's because the culture is different over there. Like we talked about this on Brat once, where it was like in South Korea, people are like, it's like literally their life. They go to these
the cafes.
These internet cafes, and they have
like die,
and
they die.
Towers,
they die in those cafes.
Yeah, they end up like they completely forget to eat, take care of themselves. You know, take a shit.
Did you say like shit, slow mo?
That too. They put on diapers, man diapers. They put on the pins, so they don't even have to even get up. They can just keep going. And like,
is this true?
It's true, man. They do these kind of things.
Slow-mo,
like,
we need to make it
different culture over there.
We got to go to South Korea and make a Brat documentary on grown men wearing Depends.
This sounds like a whole new podcast.
Go to South Korea.
Follow you, brother. Take us there. We'll come.
We might win an award for that. You know, Jeff Keighley, the big best documentary.
Oh Lord.
Well, here we go, guys. I know we're gonna get the audience a little bit riled up here, and I'm gonna get the panel riled up because I want to start with Xbot. There's no bigger, right? His name is Xbot for a reason. So we're gonna start with Xbot 448, right? Real quick. Gonna take care of the super chat real quick. Shinzea, shout out and thank you very much for the super chat. He says, great pre-show game award was good, but just after Phil showed up for the Xbox Series X reveal was too short. I want more. Now take my money. Shinzea, that's what we're gonna go into right now with Xbot. Yes.
Mooch, can I say something real quick about the Game Awards?
Go ahead.
I just want to say one more thing. The show is rigged.
It's rigged.
Death Stranding.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, no, it is. It was. Listen, all the good people filed together to fight the evil, and we were
Keighley was influenced by the people on Twitter. There was
listen, bro.
Clearly,
we had to listen.
It was a perfect call.
We had to band together to fight the evil, to pressure them, to expose them.
Man. Here comes the Lord.
And it played off all our Twitter complaining. Exactly, it paid off, and as a result, they were guilty, and they couldn't give him the Game of the Year. So that's my assessment.
And for those that mentioned he kicked over his high seat, his high chair when he was leaving, I mean, it was bad.
I thought, and I'm glad you kind of brought that up, Enrique, before we go to the main subject here tonight. I got to be honest with you, that was something that everybody wouldn't stop harping on before, and as clearly you could see, and we'll get into it as we progress through the Game Awards topics tonight, that, you know, of course, Sekiro won, or Sekiro, depending on how you want to pronunciate it. But I mean,
ask Forte how he pronounces it.
Oh man, just like how Mooch just said it the first time.
No, it don't sound nothing like that. You had like a good 3 or 4 extra letters to it.
I said
you got it 4 syllables.
Well, as long as you don't say it like Vin Diesel did.
Now, slow-mo, this in the video that I posted today, I did say I didn't even realize that when I went and listened to it. I was like, "Oh God."
You said we told you this on Brat, then you go and record a video and say it wrong anyway.
Look, man, just be happy I recorded a video, guys. That's how happy I was.
That's right.
Happy Sekiro.
Shout out.
You said it 3 times.
Sekiro.
I was like, is he talking about a sweetener? Like, what is that?
Yes,
and then he mispronounced the Xbox name. Xbox Series X. I'm like, it's
dog. You better go back and listen to that video, bro.
You can hear that
twice. I'm going to listen to that.
That's
right after
a good mispronunciation, though.
Look, man, this is CrossFire. This isn't a Game Forte YouTube channel.
Serious sex.
It's serious sex. We ain't playing. We ain't playing. It's a serious sex.
Alone, all right.
It's like you expect to get punched in your face after the commercial.
This isn't a Gaming Forte YouTube channel. Can we get back to CrossFire?
With that, Forte, I will agree with Forte. And Angel M in the chat, he says, PC Master Race mad because next-gen consoles are going to outperform their $5,000 PCs. Be careful, you're going to get it.
Hold on, I want to take those words
You
back.
can't gotta bend the knee, Brap.
Wilmy.
I got confirmation.
Time to come back home.
I told you this
Time
was
to
gonna
repent.
Enrique, I told you this was going to happen.
Yup.
Whoa, are y'all? Wait, does anybody really believe that is a thing?
People,
There are a few people that believe that.
That dude paid money to say that. Of course he
Oh
believes it.
Lord, dude. Hey, I'm sorry that you just wasted all your. You wasted your money on a fallacy. What the hell?
Oh, man.
Oh,
Hey, Cognito, I'm not coming back. I
Bend
never
the
left.
knee.
I never left. I just went a different route.
Time to get out of the office, back into the living room.
Enrique already going back on the master race.
Enrique.
No,
Hey,
I'm not. I'm not going back on the master race.
You flip floppy is flip floppy.
Hey, listen, there
I
ain't
don't
no,
flip flop, sir.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna let you know right now,
man.
Enrique,
Disappointing.
no proud.
there ain't no such thing as flip flopping, bro.
Look,
There's only
Enrique,
demanding.
man.
There's only demanding better from organization to give you better. That's
There
it.
you go, Knox.
There's
Thank you,
nothing
God.
wrong.
Please.
There is no flip flopping, bro.
Look,
Give me
man,
the
there
shit
is
I
nothing
want.
wrong.
If we don't hold them to task, they won't do the shit they did.
Exactly.
That's a fact.
It was
That's a
you
fact.
leaving that forced their hand.
That's a
Knox,
fact.
I feel you, Knox, but what
Right.
Enrique was doing was a little bit different than that.
No, I'm not going back on PC Master Race.
Time
It's
to
all
go
right.
back home.
Well, you
Look,
should,
man,
because
there
you
is-
out here
every
thinking that
Xbox-
thing is going to be a
Xbox-
2080 Ti or better, and I'm
Listen,
like,
bro.
look, you know how much
Listen, guy.
2080 Ti is?
Mhm.
Yeah, at
Yeah,
least
listen.
$1,100. That's for the
Completely
cheapest 2080 Ti.
That's right.
Come on now.
We were talking about that on Wednesday on
on
Brap, and I'll be honest with you, I'm with Slow-Mo 110%. I think that what we're going to see out of the Xbox, the Series X, is going to be something that's just absolutely revolutionary for us console gamers,
Mooch,
right?
I heard Mooch. What I did hear is that these consoles are going to actually help PCs, like people like us who have the RTX, because there's a lot of features in the RTX cards that haven't been unlocked yet.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why I'm not
Okay.
worried about next gen, because this is actually going to benefit PC. But that's another
Oh my
conversation.
God,
It
Enrique.
absolutely will. No,
It actually no, it will.
He's right.
It will.
PC
It
games,
will.
PC games are kind of like the foundation, the benchmark is console. Like these developers don't really go too far, because if they have to put their game on console, it's not going to run. So what they do is they kind of like, well, if we're definitely gonna put our game on console, or if it's going to console first, the PC version isn't that far off. Now that the consoles are actually pulling their weight, they're actually getting up there where your console is actually better than the majority of PCs out there. Not the high end ones, but like the mid tier. Your console was there. Good. Now we can actually really get deep into some different effects and different things that our engine can do that we weren't able to use.
And
It's not too late for y'all to.
No, and you know what, Slow-Mo? I agree with you on that. Like it is the truth what you're saying, but consoles have always had the longer reach, right or wrong, right?
That's true. That was true. Yeah.
Consoles have always had the longer reach. Like PC has always been way more way more powerful, way better, a much better product. But consoles have always had the longer reach. Thus, why they're so successful. That's why they're merging the both of them right now, bro. That's why they're doing what they're doing. You know what I mean? Like,
yo, guys, one thing that developers learn from console when it comes down to developing a game from console is little shortcuts, little things that they can do that they bring over to the PC space. Because if they're just making a game for PC, there's a lot of developers out there that will just rely on whatever hardware is in your system. But when you're working on a closed platform, you have to find creative ways to get things done, and then they can take those creative ways, move it over to the PC side of things, and really kind of open up the game over there as well, depending on the hardware you have.
So what is it you guys think? Let me start first and foremost with the Xbox Series X. I'll start with Xbox.
Of course.
All right, we're gonna start with you, and then believe me, it's gonna open wide. This is gonna be an open conversation.
Let's get it.
There's a lot to say here, guys. So what was your initial thought? I think nobody will probably be able to depict the moment better than you when you were watching it, right?
Let's get it. Preach your sermon. Let's go.
Go for it. Let's hear it.
Yo, when the trailer first came up, I think everybody was doing the same thing. Like, what the hell is this, right? And as soon as you saw the car go through the valley, you're like, all right, is this a racing game? And then Then they went to soccer afterwards, and it confused the hell out of everybody. And then we saw the man. We saw Master Chief.
Yes.
And
Kill Master Chief.
As soon as I saw that, I was like, "Are they really gonna do this right now?" And then all of a sudden, you saw that cube, that rectangular prism, and I'm like, "Yo, what the hell?" And then when it turned, dude, my jaw hit the floor. I don't think anybody was expecting something like that at the VGAs. Yo, I yelled to the kids. I'm like, they're showing the new Xbox. Yo, the kids, it sounded like a herd of cattle coming into the room. Like they just came and ran in. They just stopped and stared at the TV. Dude, it was an incredible way to actually show the system. And, they did go in on some of the specs and stuff like that. But with it being the Series X, they still have to show the Lockhart, which I totally believe is out there right now.
Absolutely.
That's the Series S, brother.
Absolutely. But Xbox, let me just interject real quick because I just want to say this much. First of all, I personally love the design. I like it.
Yes.
It's very clean. It's neat.
I love it.
Okay, and I don't know about you guys. Listen, I'm speaking to more, I guess, the hardcore here because the casuals probably have exactly because I was gonna say I think a lot of the casuals probably have, like, even some of the hardcore have their gaming systems in their family rooms or living rooms. Right. That's gonna be an unusual circumstance. You're either gonna have to put it behind your TV. It's not gonna fit in that little narrow gap we have right now, right?
Facts.
So, but if you game like I'm setting up now, and I made this choice. I don't know if you guys are in the mood to make this choice. I made a decision to game in my office in the house, right? Now, Cognito, you got to set up like this too, right?
Yep.
So, and I know Brap does. I seen his basement. He showed me. My whole thing is this. I've got a setup right now where if I put an Xbox One Series X, or I keep calling it Xbox One, Xbox Series X, okay?
It's called the sex.
If I put the sex box in here, okay? Damn, it's gonna look good, okay?
Different podcast.
Like right? Exactly. That is gonna look so good in the setup here. So for me personally, I saw that and I was like, you know what I said? And you guys saw my tweet earlier today. Xbox took a page right out of the great Steve Jobs. Right? Yes. Thank you.
Yo, when it comes to the design, think about it. Like, we have Alexas and stuff like that, which are little circular kind of things. A little bit
Great
high.
point.
And I think that they use that acceptance of having that form factor. And of course, they're going to have to make it a certain size because they're putting all the hardware in there. They're making sure this thing stays cool. It stays quiet. But I think that design, it kind of, they're looking at those things like the Alexas and stuff. And it's like, you know what? People will accept a style like this. And dude, I love it. Absolutely love it.
Listen, that XSX, right? That XSX, that design is off the meat rack. The fucking ventilation is coming right off the top. You can put it on its side and it will be to the right. It will be to the side of the console. You can put it anywhere. There is nowhere that you can't fit that you can't fit an Xbox X right now, an Xbox One X. Wherever you can put that or a PS4 Pro, you can put that console. Guaranteed. Others
Got it all, though, man. Got it all. I don't know.
I think it probably has vents in the back too, because they didn't show the back of it.
I saw a picture where there's vents in the back of it.
I think yes, because I think, but that's the intake though. Instead of being the exhaust, the back is now the intake. That's the way I'm seeing it from the design.
I can see
don't
that.
quote me on
That
that.
would make sense.
It looks like the top is the exhaust, which is awesome. Exactly, which is awesome to exhaust it from the top because that's what it looked like, and take it in from the back. Pause. Yes, real quick because I know
what are we talking about here?
I don't know, man. This went real.
This has been a very sexual podcast.
I don't know.
It's Friday the 13th. Everybody, don't forget
the Xbox One sex, the XSX.
Well,
you got to flex.
I think it looks dope. I like it. That shit is. I like the design. That shit is hot. I'm feeling it.
Absolutely.
Dude, seeing the detail and what they were showing in the trailer. I'm not even talking about when it comes to Hellblade or whatnot, but seeing like the time speeding up and seeing the plants growing, the cactuses, like the whole world being
the cacti.
Cacti. Okay. But seeing all that getting fleshed out and having that narrator over it. I think they did an awesome job with the trailer as a whole.
Yeah.
Like it caught people. People were doing things while the VGAs were on.
The trailer was done right.
To look at this, like what the hell is that?
Yeah.
Lord Cognito, I know that you are just sitting there clamoring your hands. Can't wait to talk about this now. What do you think about?
Cog's like Ric Flair. Woo!
He is. He's about to jump off the top rope real quick.
Go.
What do you think, Cognito? Not only the design, but I want you to kind of segue the two categories here put together. Let's also talk about the name, and then I want to hear what you think about the price. Okay? So where are you from when you first laid eyes on it?
All right, when I first saw it, my feeling exactly was like Xbox. I was okay, what's going on here? Obviously, we kind of got like a mosh posh of different games, and then it started to hit, okay, this is not a game reveal. This is a console. You see the box, you're like, wow, they're doing it. Okay. And to me, it's very symbolic because, Brad, we've had this conversation time and time again. One thing that Xbox has always done wrong, in my opinion, this entire generation has been presentation. It's something about Sony and the way they present a game. It's something about Nintendo and how they galvanize their base with the little of things. And one would think Phil would follow tradition. Tradition is to have your own console reveal top of 2020.
That's right.
Tradition is not to show something you're working on way ahead because, quote unquote, they don't like to do that.
No.
So when you see this announcement and then Phil comes on stage and then I know we're going to get into Hellblade. He talks about that. I'm like, this is what we're talking about. We've been waiting for moments like this the entire generation, and that's why it has significance. Now, as far as the console itself, definitely excited. Series, and we'll get into the name. To me, I don't necessarily like the name because it's too similar to Xbox One X, but at the same time, I do like the series implementation because that denotes that, look, there's going to be multiple ones of these. You know what I mean?
I think it's a more mature name.
Yeah, I mean, you know what it is? Sometimes I just wish they, would have like a regular name. It feels very similar to the old name. That's what I was saying. So I was just like, okay.
I agree, Cognito.
I have been saying since like 360 and we started talking about the Xbox One and now the Series X. I've been talking about the word infinity. I am taking.
Yeah, I would have loved that. Yeah, infinite.
I'm putting it in the closet though. It's
Absolutely.
done. Like it's not even on their radar anymore.
Right.
I can put that away now.
Yeah, but for me, I think honestly, Mooch, it was Phil's moment. I think that was what I wanted from him. So for me, I was blown away to the point that I don't know about y'all, but after the announcement, Knox, me and you talked about it offline. It's like it took me a while to when they were going into the other awards after. I was still like, did that just happen? Like, is this really happening? Did they just announce the console?
Bro, I tweeted that like 3 times. Did that really just happen?
Exactly. And
I was shocked too.
The significance of it is huge because again, this is the Oscars of video games. This is where you're going to get the most eyes, for your product. So it was genius. And let's be real, the Xbox over the years have been bad with leaks. No one knew. Like most of the insiders had no clue. So it was handled perfectly.
That's right.
It was secretive. It was a true surprise. And growing up, how we grew up, Mooch, with the old days of E3 and so forth.
Yes.
Like it's always cool to see something that you do not expect to happen. So that's what was really cool for me.
Let me real quick before we get to our next panel member, because I do want to get to Wilmy as well. Mega, shout out to Mega in the chat here, the super chat. He says the VGAs has more eyes on it than E3. More importantly, more casual eyes for Microsoft to debut here and first before PlayStation Smart Move. I'll tell you something, Mega. I like where you're going with that, with your enthusiasm. And, I really see where he's coming from, but I think the numbers would prove that E3 probably has a little bit more attention. And Lord Cognito could tell you he was there firsthand. Shout out also to Sin Vendetta. Great fan of the show. I've gamed with him all the time. Big Souls fan. Anyone else here ready to drop $1,200 on both the Xbox Series X and PS5 next fall like myself? Well, my hand's in the air saying I'll be there with you. And Y9 Power says...
they haven't, we haven't seen the PS5 yet. So like,
well, and we're gonna get there, Xbox. This show won't end until we get there. This show won't end until we get there. Y9 Power says, I hope they are not finished fine-tuning Series X. Well, I think the design for the most part is you see what you're gonna get. Now I want to go to Wilmy.
Right.
Wilmy, you are the Southern Mooch. I'm curious to hear real quick here. How is it that you kind of took in the show from beginning to end, and also really focusing in on the Series X? How did that hit you when you saw it? Because none of us saw it coming. It kind of was like a left hook.
Man, I was shocked. My wife and I were sitting in the living room watching the show, saw Phil walk out on stage, and she and I both just sort of looked at each other, and I was like, no way. No, this isn't going to happen. And when they showed it, we both just kind of looked at each other. I'm like, holy shit. I mean, it was a shock.
Wilmy, is this going to be in your future? Because you have one of the most prominent PCs I know, and I speak to a lot of people. Is this thing going to be in your home come next holiday?
Oh yeah, I'll have 3 of them, dude.
That's what I'm talking about, Wilmy.
What? I've got 3 Xbox X's in my house now.
Woo! Woo! Me and the family will be moving in very shortly.
Wilmy, you use all 3 of them? And
yeah, I've got one in my living room. I've got one in my home office where I'm at
premium,
and I've got one in my game room.
I'll be honest with you, but listen,
Wilmy, can you adopt me?
Slow-mo hood sounds good.
But before anybody calls me an Xbox, I also have 3 PS4 Pros.
Let's get it.
Because you a true gamer. Thank you, Wilby.
That sounds like king talk. I like that.
Yeah, right.
The thing is, man, I mean, it's like Lord Cognito said earlier. This is what Microsoft needed to do. I mean, it's been an entire generation of stumbling and kicking around bad ideas that were poorly implemented.
Yeah.
And they did it. They took a page out of Sony's own playbook, and they came out there. Phil came out with a 3-foot-long penis, and here it is.
Beat on the table.
That sex box can't stop being brought up.
And did you see the look on his face when he was doing, I mean, he knew. He came out there with confidence.
Hey, Wilmy, didn't he come out like Vince McMahon?
Yes.
Confident.
Yeah.
Strut. You see the strut?
Yeah, he did strut.
I mean, he had the little strut going, man. He was ready. He knew he was bringing fire to the show.
Yes, he did.
And I think people were really shocked. And honestly, after that announcement, the rest of the show was just kind of eh.
Well, shout out in the super chat. Zudazuk, he says, personally, I feel the name is, and then, guys, keep in mind that Judah is he's a huge Xbox fan. He says, personally, I feel the name is dumb and impractical. Design is the same, impractical. Will definitely not fit in my media center. It's designed to stand up based on the logo. But to fit it, most people, I think he was trying to say here, to fit in most people's like entertainment centers, it will have to be put on its side. Judah, you're 100% right, and you have every right to feel that way.
I'm curious though. What kind of
it will be put on its side, dude. It will be. Yeah. That's not the logo. That's the power button up there, dude. You can see where the disc tray is. The power button is right next to where the exhaust is. You can put it both ways.
But Knox, you can. But if the power illuminated button is fixed in one particular designation, vertical, if you're not able to spin it, you may be able to spin it. If you're not able to spin it and it's not designed that way, when you do go to turn it on its side, the Xbox logo would be not facing you properly. That is true.
If they stick to their traditional
Forte, I don't want to hear anything back there. We are listen, we're not some people are meticulous. I'm meticulous.
No, it's true, and I agree with you. If they stick to their traditional Xbox logo, where it's a smaller triangle on the top than on the bottom, then yes. If they make it just a straight up X, it won't even matter.
Hold on, I got a question. People still hit the power button to turn on the Xbox?
Absolutely, I do. I do every day.
Listen,
and hold the button real quick. And
I do the same thing.
99.
No bullshit. I got a fucking $200 controller that doesn't allow me to do that, so I have to press my Xbox button.
What controller is this?
I got the Razer Wolverine on.
You being special. You being extra. Okay.
Yes.
$200 wasted if you can't even do that.
You can do it. Yes, you can. But whenever the Xbox doesn't update, it won't allow you to do that because you have to manually turn it on.
Yeah, that's why you can't do that.
Well, again,
you can.
I'm not talking about functionality of touching and using the button to turn it on. I'm actually talking about aesthetics.
Function over.
So I mean, absolutely Forte, but that's that's not. That's
does
a good
matter,
point, though,
right? That's a good point, but I think they'd make it like that you could reverse it.
I would think that you could spin it. That wouldn't. That's no harm, no foul for them to make that so that the logo itself can spin freely. That's not a big deal at all on any kind of engineering level.
Hey, Mooch.
Yes.
Mooch, can I chime in real quick?
Please.
Yeah, so I mean, I want to piggyback off the aesthetics or the design of the console. I mean, and I think like Wilmy, I was just like, wow. Like when Phil came out, I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Like something big is gonna happen. And I was not expecting the announcement of Anaconda or the Sex, as I'm calling it, Series X to happen. And when I saw that, I saw the design, I'm like, wow. Like that looks good. Like it's simplistic and sexy.
Exactly.
And you know what? Someone mentioned the
agreed, Enrique. Freaking agreed, bro.
Yeah, the Amazon, what is it? With the Alexa thing. What are they called? What do they call it? The dots, the Echoes. Yeah, the Echoes. Yeah, I mean they have the Echoes now that are designed like that, right? Yep. So this thing looks like a modern device that you would find in any home, not just a gamer's home, but any home, period.
Right.
And to me, that's the genius behind this design. Like it's funny. Like we've all been gaming. Like I've been gaming for like 40 something years, and there was a time where consoles looked like toys. I mean, if you guys remember the GameCube and the GameCube controller. I mean,
and that's the way they were marketed. Was toys.
exactly. Well, I mean, this thing is an adult device, and I love that.
Absolutely,
I love that Microsoft's putting a lot of love into the design of this device. It screams premium. And I wouldn't be surprised. I've heard people say, someone DM me say, actually, it's going to be $500. And I heard James say it's going to be $500. I'm still on the $600 bandwagon. But I tell you what,
no, it'll be $5. It'll be $5.
Honestly, it screams. This is screaming $600. And listen, you guys, and don't get me wrong, Knox, not to go counter what you're saying. I know where you're trying to say if it's going to be successful, there's a reason there's a Lockhart. They didn't make the Lockhart because they're bored, okay? They have got, so you've got, and shout out to the great Jez Gordon. Me and Jez had an amazing conversation today in the DMs on Twitter. It was awesome. And he goes, basically, we've got ourselves we were just, he didn't say that this is what it was. We were having just a conversation. He says, you got yourself a console sandwich. So I got to give Jez credit for that. He says, you got your Lockhart possibly at like a $3.99. You're going to have your PS5 at a $4.99. Yep, and then you're going to have your Anaconda, your Series X, okay, if you will, at a $5.99. You've got your console sandwich. So shout out to Jez for the great food analogy there. But my point being is that makes sense. So Knox, that's the only. Now listen, back in the day, Nintendo used to take a hit. They used to take a hit. Does Microsoft want to take a hit? Maybe they do, but I don't think so. I don't think they want to take a hit.
I don't either. I think Lockhart will compete with PS5 if they're going to launch it. Xbox One S will beat PS5 equivalent. Xbox One X, if you want to market it at 600 yuccas, you're going to have to make the Lockhart compete with PS5 and make the X exceed both of those. You know what I mean? Exactly. It's the only way to justify it. It's the only way to...
Like from what we're seeing, if we're going to believe the reports on what the Lockhart is, it's not going to compete anywhere near when it comes to power to the PS5.
That's right.
So really what you're doing is that you're getting a cheaper option than the PS5.
Yes.
So for those who say they want next gen, but it's cheaper, it's going to be cheaper than PS5, but less powerful. And then you're going to have a more expensive and then I would assume more powerful option in the Series or whatever, the Series
XSX. Maybe XSX.
I blame
it's the XSX.
The thing too about the pricing on this console, you know, I'm reading the chat and people are saying at $5.99 this is going to be dead.
Right.
The thing is,
I don't agree with that.
No way.
It won't be, but it'll be way more successful at $4.99.
Exactly. If you want a console that can even remotely compete with the computer that's sitting to my left, if you think you're going to go out and buy an Xbox that will compete with this custom-made Origin PC beside me, you're fucking crazy. It's not going to happen.
Right.
You are going to have to pay for that performance.
Right.
And if you want something that even comes close, it's going to cost money. I mean, that's just the way it is. That's life.
Yeah, and that's why I don't understand these people that are all acting like they're going to get everything they want and only for $500. That's not how this works.
My graphics card alone costs more than 3 of these consoles.
Well, guys,
exactly. You're not getting 2080 Ti level of power for $500. That's
exactly.
That's crystal meth.
What happened was with the PS3. With the PS3, $600 became a curse word in the video game industry. But nowadays,
that was 2004. That was 2004.
Right. That's what he's saying. He's saying nowadays it's different.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Nowadays, $600 isn't what it used to be back then.
Right.
So they can literally they can use a price point like that, and it can be acceptable.
But you guys all know. I already said the X set the bar. I said that.
I was just about to say that because
exactly.
Get it for a second. Get you for a second. I just want to say that you nailed it because let's be real. When the X was announced, I even thought 500 was a mistake. I was like, that's too high. You got to go a little bit lower to make this thing attractive.
Yeah.
And they proved through sales that price point was more than 5. So they're already emboldened already at that price point. This is where I'm with Mooch.
They also have a payment plan.
Yeah, there you go. Right. And this is where I'm with Mooch in the sense that, we got to look at that performance. It's what Slomo was saying as well. That's a lot under the hood.
A lot.
So to ask for 5, even me, as much as I know that's the sweet spot, are they willing to take that much of a hit?
Lord
Cognito, that level of
Cognito, you got to understand. Listen, I always equate when we're talking about consoles in this way. It's the same way when you go to get and I know you got one. I know, or if you don't got one, I know you got means of getting this. You know when you get an AMG Mercedes, right?
Yes, let's go.
So if you got if we both got E550s and you got the AMG, okay, you paid an extra 10, 15 G's for that engine. Okay, so this is the difference, guys. You guys can go ahead and get the Lockhart. You can get the 550, but if you want the AMG, you got to put the extra, as Dean Knox would say, you got to put the yuckers up. You got to put that money up. You can't do it any other way. So real quick, let me just take care of the super chat. Shout out to Biggie 2316. Outstanding super chat. He says the design of the new Xbox. What do you guys think of the narrative of the devs not having kits? Might be BS since it looks like a PC. So do devs have they had the kits all along? Biggie, that's a great question. Shout out also, I've got so many people here. Judah Zuck, who became a Mooch Maniac, a member of the channel. Guys, please do use the emotes. They're in the click on there. They're fantastic. The great Sean LeBray, awesome artist, created these. They're all little mooches. They're little me screaming. It's fantastic.
Oh my God!
Great.
What the hell?
I did want to say something real quick about this the whole thought that we pay X amount of dollars. Stop it, Enrique. There's a whole thought that you pay so much for your car, you pay so much for your cell phone. So why is there a problem to pay $600, $700, $800 for a console? Here's the difference, though. When you get a car, very few people are walking into the dealership and dropping down the full amount of the car day one. True. They're financing it and they're paying a little bit over.
Xbox does have that financing plan.
Yeah, but they don't. That financing plan is limited. Isn't it limited to just like Microsoft stores? And
no. They've expanded it now. It's actually with Amazon.
Why you
partnered with UK partnerships as well.
Why do you think they're calling it the series? Why do you think they're calling a series this, series that?
Hold on.
Give slow-mo the floor.
Cell phones are also like that, but you get that through your carrier. It's a lot easier.
Xbox.
Where are you going to do? Is every
Microsoft
going to do this payment plan?
They've confirmed Amazon as a partner right now. Amazon Prime. I know that in the UK there's also an equivalent. So they're going finally. I agree with you because in the past, Slow-Mo, it was confined to the Microsoft store. And let's be real, there's not a lot of those around. And who's who's knowledgeable enough to go on their website and find out about these things? But when I saw that they're really pushing this accessible program, this you can finance it, and then to the point where you can get the X now, finance it, and then when the Series X comes out, you can trade that in and transfer that same payment program over and continue your program over there. So they're trying to set something up. Now, I agree with you, though. The key has to be the messaging and the marketing. The word has to get out.
Microsoft.
Yeah, I know. Hey, you got me there.
Well, you know what? They are going to do it, guys.
Who got the pipe? Pass that pipe over here. If y'all think, I need to smoke what y'all smoking. If y'all really think Microsoft and messaging and marketing is going to be
it's a new day. It's a new day.
It's a new day. It's Friday, bro.
Did you ever think they'd be revealing their goddamn console at the Game Awards?
Well, you know, the thing is, now here's the thing. Listen, I got to kind of take Slow-Mo side here a little bit. We got to be grounded, guys, right? Yeah. Yes, they did an amazing thing. They did something that's completely outside of their wheelhouse. We've all been asking for that. But at the end of the day, I don't know if they're going from 0 to 100. Real quick, let me take care of some of these super chats here. Carlos Crespin says the SX looks like the old Xbox Power Brick. I don't think it's that bad, Carlos. I want to say thank you.
I was calling it the Power Brick at home.
Thank you very much to Biggie.
Call it the Power Brick. That's a dope-ass name.
Shout out to Biggie2316 who said he became a VIP Mooch Maniac. Thank you very much, Wilmy. Judah as well becoming a Mooch Maniac. Sir X-Man says, did you see how happy people were when they saw, I believe he was trying to say Godfall, and they totally got quiet when it only said PS5. I love forward and backwards compatibility.
I already talk about that.
I knew that was going to be PS5 exclusive. Kid.
But did you notice
it's only a time exclusive to PS5?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it is.
But it's going to be like a year and change.
That's interesting, though. That's a different approach, though, as far as starting a new generation and
Cognito,
the old generation out with all that user base.
Cognito, I got to ask you a question here. Me and you were on the same page at $5.99. Alex Lulu in the super chat says here, even at $600, it's still going to lose money. Do you agree with that?
I agree.
I mean, yes, based on what's in there. I mean, let's be real. It's ray tracing, that's proprietary SSD, all type of functionality in this thing. They're going to take a hit. Their main thing is getting you into the ecosystem and services with Game Pass. That's what
exactly. They'll make it up with Game Pass.
There are PC dudes right now kind of drooling on it on YouTube. Yeah. They're drooling over this system right now. It's really weird to see, man.
Yeah, man, I can't wait for Enrique to bend the knee.
That was
I'm not going to bend the knee, sir. I'm coming back home, baby.
No, coming back home.
My dude, if they keep putting the caliber of games that they're putting in Game Pass with xCloud and do all that good shit, they're not playing. They not playing. All they need now is the exclusives, and they already showed Hellblade with some crazy ass graphics. Hellblade 2. You kidding me, bro?
Wait till the digital Foundry reviews come out. Let better start talking that talk. Gonna be coming right back.
all they gotta do though is continue on this path. They must continue on it. They cannot deviate.
Yeah.
The bar has been set.
Yes, exactly.
The bar is
now continue on it. Put it on Smash, because I'm gonna tell you something. And y'all already know how I feel, but they've been killing it with fucking game. I can't believe the shit that's in Game Pass right now. I'm like,
for real.
Like, that shit is bugging. If they keep doing that,
hey, Knox.
Yeah.
Well, what if Cyberpunk 2077 comes to Game Pass?
Lord. Oh, come on.
Let's not be crazy.
That's a real. I mean, seriously, like, you gotta believe Microsoft.
A year and a half in, maybe.
But they want to be. Look, here's the thing. Here's the thing. I've been very critical of Microsoft, but one thing I know about Microsoft, when they open that wallet and they say, you know what, we've had enough, we want to get aggressive. They might throw something. They made money.
They would have to give CD Projekt Red such a substantial amount of money.
But they could.
It's just like here. It's a Scrooge McDuck money bin that they can dive in.
They gave DMC $19 million to Capcom to have DMC.
Capcom was struggling though. Capcom was struggling.
What about these streamers?
Substantiated. That's a rumor that has not been substantiated.
Yes, it has been substantiated. dude.
No, they gave him 19 million.
Slow-mo, it was no.
So wait,
I don't know. About Devil May Cry, I don't know, but it definitely made Devil May Cry even bigger than
Look,
it.
man, that ain't Devil May Cry.
That game,
you talking about
Game Pass did make Devil May Cry. I give it that. I never thought it would have happened, but it did.
You don't think Microsoft?
Check this out, real quick. When it comes down to it, when people were getting on Xbox's case, when people started getting in on the games that they were showing that they were releasing in 2020, I tried to tell people, I'm like, yo, I think what's gonna happen is with Project Scarlet, when they start marketing Scarlet, that's when you're gonna see them go all in. And I know people out there, they doubted me, and I can understand why. They doubted when I said it. Now, the thing is, this is a great first step. It's gotten everybody talking. It had grandmothers stopping what they were doing in the kitchen, watch what was going on in the VGAs and stuff like that. But like Knox said, and dude, I'm so glad you brought up that point, because they have to keep going like that. They have to keep
because
right here.
Because that's why core Xbox fans are jaded. Guys like me, guys like Crap. That's why we're jaded, because guys like Enrique. It's true.
Well, Enrique, you found a home on
we know what they're capable of doing. We know. Go ahead, Enrique. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say Xbox. I Cog, you and I have talked about this. I left.
Yes,
I'm an OG Xbox dude.
Day one, baby.
Day one.
That's right.
too.
I beta tested Xbox Live.
That's right.
I was
with the old school headset. With the old school headset.
The headset where it broke so many times I had to duct tape it.
Let's go.
Yes, I mean, I was there. Wolfenstein, Mech Assault, Crimson Skies,
You that guy.
Fever, the beta. I mean, I had the black T-shirt. I was there, and I believed them, and I loved Microsoft at that time because they were aggressive.
Do you think? But do you guys think that what you saw yesterday and what you're seeing and what you're hearing now, is this what are we getting back to that Xbox?
It feels like a new day.
Can we put down? Can we put down the lattes and the good feelings and get back to gaming again? Can we get back to it?
Yes. Brother, when it comes down to it, you're still gonna get the lunch pictures and everything like that.
That's fine.
Lunch pictures.
The lunch pictures are fine.
Do it on the sneak tip. Do it on the sneak tip.
No, but yo, Enrique, and here's the thing about it, because from hearing you talk, and I can tell you're a passionate gamer, and I can tell you do really like where you are on PC right now. Now, when it comes to Xbox, they're like,
ecosystem.
You like it there? That's no problem, because guess what? Our first party, our Game Pass is over there on PC as well.
Facts.
And you're gonna help fund and develop new experiences for me. And I'm a console gamer.
That's right.
Game Pass is gonna thrive on console first, but it's going
it definitely
absolutely
will. It definitely will. And it's good to hear people, because I said when it comes to Game Pass, they are going to keep filling it out. They're going to keep growing it. It's just going to keep getting bigger. And even Knox is on board with that now. Like, he can't believe the games that are in there.
I can't.
And it's just going to get better. And when we get this Series X, guess what? You don't have to buy a single first-party launch game. If you have Game Pass, you can buy that Prism. You can buy that garbage can. You can buy that power drink. Bring it home. Power it up. Put your gamer tag in and play.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's ease of use.
Yes, just pop it in and play the game.
Exactly. The ecosystem. What? No more. What Discord are you in? Where are you at?
No, let's stop that. Stop that.
But we do gotta kill the fat and the S. Agreed.
They will. I think they got a 12 to 18 month span with that fat. That fat's got to go.
6 months before
well,
it goes.
you know, I'm with you, Knox. But real quick, let me take care of the super chat, guys. Shout out to one of my man right here, Stop 6 Doc. Always been with Mooch for the beginning. He says I wasn't gonna get the next Xbox, but that shit looks powerful. Shout out to you, buddy. I appreciate that. Right? I've got some great super chats in here. Sir X Man right here with another one. He says, do you think PS5 is going to keep the UFO design? You know, we're gonna get into that. I really do. I really do want to break down what I'm talking about with the PS5, and I think what their attack is. A shout out one more time to Sin Vendetta. He says, "Hey Mooch, here's $20 towards your Xbox Series X mooching fund." I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. Hey, True Witty says a PlayStation fan super impressed and excited. I got to be honest with you. I think everyone's pretty excited. I want to bring this up with you guys.
That is a beautiful super chat.
It really is, and thank you very much.
The whole thing. PS5, XXX.
No, go ahead, and then I want to kind of look at the Sony approach to what happened yesterday, and then we'll combine the two. Go ahead.
I just want to say one more thing because I've been I go 20 years now with Xbox, and it's funny. I go back to the conversation I had with Cognito. I'll say this is the first time in a long time that I've kind of laid back when Phil came out. I saw that. I said, you know what? This is what I'm talking about.
This is what we talk about.
This is facts. This is what they needed to do, and I'm glad they did it because this is the Microsoft Xbox that I remember picking up in 2001 and saying, yes, these guys are in it to win it. And I love it.
You guys sounding real emotional right now.
Talk about it.
I am emotional.
It's a new day, Slow.
You know why, Slow? Because I helped build Xbox Live because I was there day one. That's why I'm emotional.
I know, Enrique. I know.
You don't know.
Tell him.
I was there day one, too. I was there day one.
You were day one 360.
I was day one Xbox.
No, you were day one Red Ring.
Oh, damn. For the Xbox Live, bro, we were there.
Yeah. You're not the only person that was there. Okay?
No, I was the only person.
I feel Brad right now. Let him get his bars off.
No, what I'm saying is, y'all acting real emotional right now.
You know what it is, Slow.
Y'all been talking. I'm gonna say my piece.
Talk your talk.
Y'all acting real emotional right now.
Let's go.
I'm like Carl Thomas. I don't care.
Let's go.
Like Carl Thomas out here. Where's the same energy at? Every time when we had the what was the last event, the XO, and it was bad, and they didn't show anything.
Right.
Like, hey guys, come on now, guys. It's okay. It's okay. They didn't show all the games. Then they finally have a good showing, and it's just like complete 180.
But all right, Slow. I feel you. Listen, everything you're saying is right. Everything you're saying over. We're not watching over that. We're not watching over that.
Microsoft is who Xbox is.
Listen,
people here ain't nobody changed.
Listen, Slow. You are correct. No one is saying what you're saying is incorrect. This whole generation has been, I think Wilmy said it best. It's been missteps. It's been a whole bunch of garbage. As a hardcore Xbox fan, right? That this conference spoke to you. And the reason why is because they never took advantage of these type of moments to, like I said, show things ahead of time, do things correctly, break protocol, right?
Let them know, Lord.
Right. So at the end of the day, this is different. Now I'm with you, Slow. They have to, the bar's been set. They got to continue this now. We can't go back to Honey, I Shrunk the Kid games next week. Right?
Exactly.
Thank you.
It's consistency now because now you got the base galvanized, but this is the bar now. This is what we want to see from Phil every time. So I'm definitely with you, Slow. I'm definitely with you,
because
I got the feeling that's
let the very next game that comes out be instead of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, it's Home Alone.
Don't forget the Bambi Simulator,
the video game edition. Everybody.
Then you know what? And rightfully so. If you release Bambi, the fucking whack ass game, you deserve to get chastised. That's the way it goes.
I am on that train. I've been doing that. What I'm saying is that like it seems to be different energy when they finally do something good. It's like
come on, Slow-Mo.
It's been so long though, Slow.
Who just said that?
All the games are going to be sort of realistic, like Hellblade 2. Hallelujah, praise the Lord, and everybody dancing up and down.
But baby steps, my dude, baby steps.
Let us have this one, Slow.
Just seeing that shit makes me go, Oh shit! Finally, they fucking listening to me, my dude.
Yeah.
God damn it! It's only been 7 years.
I'm looking out for y'all.
No, you keeping it grounded.
That's the thing, though.
That's what keeping it warm.
That's the thing.
I feel I could dig it. I dig it, slow mo. I know where you, my dude. I get you. I absolutely move. But god damn, dog.
That's why. But here's the thing, though, Knox. This is the one thing I say on week in and week out, right? And everybody likes to use. And listen, new slogans come up on Twitter and on YouTube. We all use them all the time. I'm guilty myself. But that whole keep that same energy thing. The thing about it, right, is what Knox is saying and what Cognito was saying a second ago. And Slow-Mo, I'm with you because what you're saying makes a lot of sense. But the thing about it is, you come home, right, to your family. You had a bad day. You were miserable, right? The kids are like, Dad's angry. This is not going right. Why? I gotta stay away from him. This isn't where I want to be. All of a sudden, you come home the next day and you're great. You bring the wife flowers. You bring the kids a game. Everything's great. You want the kids to be like, bring the same energy. He was nasty yesterday. I'm gonna be nasty today, right? We can't. The same energy is day to day. It's not the same story. So when people say that, you can't bring the same emotions you had a year ago because things change in a 24-hour cycle.
Every situation lends itself to different emotions.
That's my problem with that slogan.
Okay, all right, Mooch.
This
is what I'm saying, Mooch.
Slow-Mo, let me just interject real quick, man. Slow-Mo, you and I are Redskins fans, right?
Don't remind me.
Slow-Mo don't want to admit to that on the air.
Wait, don't remind. What if they went on a 5-game winning streak? You and I would both be singing to the heavens.
Talk about it.
Yeah, but this is the equivalent of the Redskins winning one game.
we would still be happy.
Come on, Slow-Mo.
Redskins won 2 weeks ago. I was like, man, are they
Cognito?
This is the equivalent of Redskins beating the Ravens, though.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, you might be like, there's some potential here.
A miracle happened and Lamar Jackson broke both legs. That's how that happened.
This is a blowout.
Look, okay, Enrique and Mooch, this is what I'm saying. And I'll use this analogy. You ever heard a woman, and I'm not saying this is anyone's household, I hope not, but a woman say how like their husband is not, he ain't helping out around the house, he don't help out with the kids. He ain't shit. And then one day, right?
Better get your mama to suck your own.
He actually gets up off the couch. And he goes, washes the dishes. He mows the lawn. He does all this other stuff around the house. And what does she do? She goes, I mean, that was one day.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you.
I know where you're
all right.
The bar,
but you also have the other end of the spectrum where she might be like, "Oh my God, I can't believe he just did that crazy shit." That happens. That shit happens. That shit happens.
Back on the couch.
That shit happens all the time.
I can't go with that.
Go ahead, man.
Go ahead, over here.
I went through that situation with my wife.
That man jaded, bro.
Bro, she was like, bro, hold up. I know you like doing YouTube videos and going on podcasts and playing Destiny, but I'm gonna need you to help around this house a little more. So I started helping. I started helping around the house, and I was like, okay, washing dishes, doing everything, doing it before she told me to do it. And I started. I said, "Is everything okay?" She said, "Stop asking me for confirmation on what you should have been doing the whole time." A month went by. And I was like, a month went by. She was like, "Why don't you play your game no more? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that?" I was like, "Because I'm doing everything that I'm supposed to do for you around the house." And she was like, she's like, just because it's only been a month, she said, it's only been a month. She said, you got to keep working at it. I was like, oh, bro, dog, you can't get away like that at all.
It's about consistency. And Forte is absolutely right. It's about consistency.
It took me 3 months to get her.
Like
to that point.
We can get to the point where we're like, we're excited for what Xbox is going to show us. Anytime anything is going to happen, and we're not surprised that they did something that actually impressed us.
Right.
When they show consistency, and it's got to be across the board. It's got to be with party games. It's got to be with a lot of different areas. It's got to be with the marketing. It's got to be with how they handle their first party.
Correct.
It's got to be in all areas. Show consistency.
Slow-Mo, you're right.
Yeah,
it's not like Stadia.
You're right.
Okay,
take it easy.
Okay, and now we're looking forward to them doing that because, like I've stated earlier, right? They must continue going forward.
Yes.
So now we watch them go forward. If they don't like If we don't like what they're doing, then we do what we did. Yo, y'all suck ass. And then they'll fucking fix it. Like,
I mean, Knox, the bar's been set with.
That's it. I've said it already.
I mean, that trailer. That
Listen, with that trailer, with Game Pass, with what supposedly xCloud is going to offer us, my God, Microsoft is set to dominate this shit. Google Stadia falling flat on his fucking face.
Why do we gotta go blame Stadia? Listen,
there we go.
I don't even look at it. I don't see why. Listen, why the hell?
It's a new baby.
I'm just saying. PlayStation, Sony and Microsoft have teamed up because they were shook of them dudes. Them dudes fell flat on their face. Microsoft is now best poised.
Wait a minute. Now, hold on a minute. Let me hold on. Wait, real quick.
Real quick. You gonna talk about them 30 frame games too?
Yeah,
how much they cost? 770.
Hold on. I got my Stadia Defense briefcase right here. Real quick. Hold on. Let me just get my one. I got to pay the bills real quick. Shout out to
Guardians.
Hold up now. Hold on there, Forte. Y9 Power says Crimson Skies with Flight Simulator engine. Boom. One Bad Mother says it feels like Phil is trying to recapture the magic of the OG. I'll save your seat on the bandwagon, Enrique. How about that? Now wait, we got some more.
I got him.
That's bullshit. Ain't no such thing as a bandwagon.
Wait.
Don't do that.
How can I leave when I never? How can I come back to the ecosystem when I never left?
He never left.
Good shit. Enrique.
Hold on. Once you did the tweet, it was official.
Real quick, shout out,
bro. And I'm sorry that I even talked you into all.
Let me shout this out. Sir X Man real quick. He says Microsoft needs to help keep Hellblade 2 exclusive. They will. Trust me, they will.
Absolutely. They must.
They will. That's not even a question.
That goes without saying.
Talking about Game Pass PC.
They need PC. Yeah, listen, Godfall being exclusive is humongous for PS5 right now, my dude. That ass.
Yeah. Well, wait, Knox, wait, Knox. I want to get into that.
It's exclusive to the Epic Store too, so you.
It is.
It is. But I'm not playing on PC.
I want to get into that. Just hold on one second. Mega says He says I smell a 2006 Xbox 360 era coming back. You gotta believe. Listen, nobody's gonna believe more than a Mets fan. I gotta believe. I'm with you. Shut up, right? Thank you.
You know how we get
Thank you. And then I got Stop 6, right? I got Stop 6 Doc right here in the chat. Stop 6. I can't say thank you enough to you for being here. He says, for the first time in years, I have faith in Xbox. Give me Rise too. Shout out to Stop 6 Doc. Listen, I want to talk about that. I want to talk about Godfall because the one thing is I can't sit here on this show and honestly tell you I'm excited for Godfall. But here's what I can tell you guys. I saw Phil come out and dazzle and give us one of the greatest shows with the Series X, okay? But I did notice that Sony said, okay, we got our February show. We're not talking about our hardware.
Right.
Sony showed some games. They showed that they were going to lock. Listen, Sony knows the formula, okay? Power, listen, power's important. Don't think I'm neglecting that. Power's important, but exclusives matter. And here you go. There's Sony saying, oh, you're showing the box? You got power? We're going to have power too, and we're locking this shit up. So my point is, right? So
Microsoft better do the same shit.
That's what I'm saying. This is why I have this topic on the show. Sony uses the award show to boost the notion they're locking up exclusives.
They're letting their fans know, Mooch. Yo, we bring it in like we always bring it.
Right, you got to play it here.
First party hot joints. Third party hot joints, locked down to our shit. That's what Sony does.
Yes.
And it's fucking brilliant. It is brilliant. And Microsoft knows what they need to do. They brought the ruckus, finish that shit.
Okay, but Cognito and Xbot, this is one thing, because I know you and Phil, you've hung out with Phil, you know Phil. Yeah. My point is this, okay, real quick. Knowing what Phil has said in the past, and seeing things like with Godfall, right, where that's a lockdown a year, and people, we gotta stop. Everything goes to PC. Wilmy will tell you this. Yeah. Okay, everything. That's so listen, like PC's PC. We're talking about consoles. Yes, they locked that game down. Is Phil Maximus Dominus Moochimus? Okay, is he right? Is he going to lock us down a third-party deal with a company like Gearbox, a AAA developer, so we have our cake and eat it too?
Yo, I think so. Go ahead, Bob.
And then you can get in on this because I don't think people have read the description of Godfall. Like if you read the description of Godfall, they talk about like a AAA type experience and
Right.
whatnot. So it looks really pretty.
Mhm.
But when it comes down to it, there's people that are second guessing it as maybe a $30 title, a
Right.
$40 title, possibly a free to play,
Mhm.
and with a timed exclusive nature. So
Right.
like I wouldn't. It looks really pretty. Don't get me
Mhm.
wrong. But I'm not ready to jump on that wagon like, yo,
I feel you. You want to see
this,
more. Yeah, you want to see
Godfall
more.
that.
I get where you
know
at.
what
Look,
I'm saying?
where I'm at with it right now, to me, it was interesting both approaches, right? Because for the Xbox fan, it's always been the Achilles heel has been the AAA experience, but single player cinematic, right?
Yes.
So when we get Hellblade, we go, yes,
Yes.
this is what we're talking about,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So for Sony, to me, it's the opposite.
It's like it's just like they switched right there.
Yeah, it's like, where's your multiplayer, right? Where's your bring everybody together? And that kind of fits that niche. And then when I heard about it, and it's like there's almost like Diablo / Borderlands with Destiny with melee combat. I'm like, wow, this sounds really
very,
cool.
very intriguing.
And at the end of the day, that's always been their Achilles heels. Now, for some people who love this, the people that knock the Sony ecosystem, because all of us like our single player experience, most of us, but there are people like myself sometimes that like, yo, I don't always want to do that. Sometimes I want to play something that's theirs, that's exclusive, that I don't have to rely on a third party for them to do it. So I like the idea of them locking down multiplayer experiences. And I think, Phil, I actually don't mind if both of them work on their perceived weaknesses the next generation, because
that's what we should want, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm gonna tell you right now, that's to go back to Xbox again, is that that's what Hellblade represented. You know, we didn't want Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. We didn't want no immature experience. We want these cinematics. You see the chanting, you see her face. This looked like some crazy ish is going down. That's what we want on Xbox. That's what we want to see. So I love that both of them, because Microsoft came out so strong. PlayStation's like, okay, all right, we got bangers on deck. We still got Ghost of Tsushima. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get into that. We still got a lot. This is gonna be such a great generation, the way it's shaping up, and the fight that I think we all wanted to see, so that it pushes them. And now, us as the consumer, we benefit.
We benefit tremendously. That's it. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, Cognito, you put it, and that shit was brilliant.
You know, like I think they're already kind of doing some things like this, like them partnering with Smilegate Entertainment that did that has created CrossFire X, and we don't really know too much about Smilegate Entertainment because they're a South Korean company, but CrossFire X is like the most popular game over there.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, it's like a their version of Counter-Strike, and it's going to be
what's the Counter-Strike that's out right now?
So what?
What's a big Counter-Strike that's out on PC right now? Counter-Strike like SE or something. I forget what it is. There's a big Counter-Strike game on.
I can't remember the name of it.
But yeah, like they're also making this other game called damn it, Lost Age? I can't. It's going to come back to me, but it's a huge MMO, and people who have played it have said it's the best MMO that's out right now. Like, forget Diablo. Diablo can't mess with this. Like, it's that good, and so it is. They're working with them to get that game over here too. So they are, even though Phil once said, you know, I don't like that time exclusive. So I think that's really mean. You know, you take games away from people. I really feel like Phil was saying that because he couldn't do it at that moment.
Exactly.
Now he got he's the big man in charge. He can do whatever he wants. He like, yeah, I'm gonna get these time exclusives, and
he can put that meat on the table.
On the table,
drop it right on the table, just slap it like right there. They're like, oh, but I think it's smart going to areas where no other his competition really aren't operating in those areas. We see Sony doing that in China right now with the China Hero Project. They're partnering with Epic. They got these Chinese developers that are really talented making games like Lost Soul Aside, and they're going to be exclusive to on console. They're going to be exclusive to the PS5, and that is going to be what's going to be happening next year. We're going to see a lot more of that. And actually, I kind of feel like since they keep talking about trying to get a developer in the Eastern Hemisphere, they should just go ahead and buy Smilegate.
Brother,
I mean, that would be.
We have seen Xbox when it comes to first party studio acquisitions. Even the games that have come out, even though for some rhyme or reason my brother Cog seems to hate on Honey I Shrunk the Kids or whatnot.
Listen. It's like, do that on your own time. I didn't want to see that right now.
But check this out.
Cog, it's a passion project.
Even with moves like when they got PUBG for that year or whatnot, you see Xbox bolstering themselves up.
Yeah.
One thing you got to remember here, when it comes to Series X, that's the Phil Spencer box. That's the one he was there from the beginning with.
Absolutely.
All right, this is the one that is a part of him. So, like Knox said before, they got to keep on that gas pedal.
Yes.
But I think they're going to because that's his box. He took over the Xbox One.
And not only that, remember, I didn't mean to cut you off, but just to real quick, because I got to put this out there. Remember, in the past, I've said, Microsoft wants to go third party, bro. Like, that's their fucking vision. That's what they want to do, right?
Right.
And they did do it. But now, if I was to flip the dynamic and go, maybe I never looked at it from the perspective of now that they can put their streaming service out there and get Game Pass, they could pull the rug out from everybody, go third party right now like they did, get people interested from other platforms on like games like the Outer Worlds and all that shit, right? And then be like, now you only could get it here.
Right.
That's very possible too.
That's powerful. Yeah, it's powerful. I mean, let's be real. I mean, Hellblade itself, the significance of that title.
It did big time. Maybe he's flipping it. Because Phil Spencer knows what we want. He's not a stupid businessman, bro. He can't be. I think he just couldn't do shit. And blue, like I call him, my man, big, big solid snake oil Phil skis, you know what I mean?
I think last night started the train into motion. I think everything you're going to see now is going to get bigger and better as we go.
Yeah, I think Microsoft. I think they showed Satya that this shit is huge, and now he sees it and he's like, do what you gotta. And now they're gonna do.
So let me ask you guys a question. And you guys can go back and forth here because we are talking about the same show here. But the one thing that I was kind of questioning, and everybody's kind of ranting and raving on Twitter, and they have every right to.
Let's go.
I have. This is a talk show. We got to talk about it, guys. All right.
Let's go.
Absolutely.
Listen, I loved Hellblade. I beat it in its entirety. I loved it. But I was kind of psyched to think that, okay, we saw Bleeding Edge. We knew that was going to be a small group of people from Ninja Theory. No problem. They had that on the shelf. Okay. I'm like, they got a new studio. Not only do they got a new studio, they're building them a new studio. They're hiring people. Let's see what this is going to be. And Ninja Theory's got some history. They got a resume. Even though I think a lot of those developers aren't there right now, they still have a resume. They've got a pedigree. Okay.
Right.
So I'm thinking, what is Ninja Theory going to give us? So now we see Ninja Theory's game yesterday. I'm like, Ninja Theory, by the makers of this. Oh, here it comes. All right, here we go. And we see Hellblade 2. Now, let me not make little of it. Because this Hellblade is going to blow the last one out the door. But what I'm saying to you guys,
the last one had a little budget.
Little budget too. Yeah.
Absolutely. So this is going to be beautiful, lifelike, crazy, more action, a lot more fighting, probably a lot more RPG elements, bigger world, harder puzzles. I'm with you. If they expand this thing, if they take Hellblade and they make it like ride with me here, folks, a Tomb Raider-esque. Okay, where there's puzzles and then an RPG element and fighting like that.
Heavenly Sword.
Yes, now you got me. I'm with you, Knox. Yeah. I'm with you, right? But here's my thing.
Sony fans want a Heavenly Sword, bro. Make that. That's it. That's all you got to do with Hellblade.
And now here, I'm throwing out this concern because we got to talk about it. Okay, we got to talk about it. If this ends up being just a beautiful version of Hellblade again, where it's just more in-depth puzzles, but more realistic looking, and using the power of the Series X. And let me give you guys an example of what I mean. Okay, you go, well, Mooch, what the hell are you talking about? What I'm talking about is the difference between State of Decay 1 and State of Decay 2. Now hold up. Now wait a minute. Let me just allow. Listen, if you're gonna put the man on the stand, let him talk. Right? Real quick. Now hear me out. I am talking about 360, right? To an Xbox One X. You saw what we got. When you gave creative freedom. Now, what I'm asking, listen, I'm not saying it's going to look the same. Of course, it's going to look better. I'm just asking a legitimate question here. If Ninja Theory is going to give us a better looking, slightly bigger, slightly more difficult version of puzzles to solve.
Oh,
Guys, I got
man.
Are you guys going to be okay with that?
But you gotta say the
I'm just asking the question.
I'm about to go in.
I'm just asking the
Real
question.
quick.
You know what?
Mooch, check this out.
Mooch is definitely okay with saying that. That makes
Well, but here's the deal.
it's
No,
valid.
no,
It can
slow-mo,
happen.
Thank you,
slow-mo,
slow-mo.
Real quick. Yo, real quick. If you watch the trailer, all right, Senua is chanting, all right, and she is building up an army, all right?
Yep.
There is nothing there that says Hellblade 1 in the terms of that type of gameplay. It is.
They know the cash cow they got, bro. They got Star Wars on their hands with
They are
bro.
expanding.
Here's the thing, guys. Guys, real quick, you got to look at it this way. I understand that game was in-engine. So I know that we were looking at the power of the Series X. So listen, it was gorgeous. I'm not going to take one thing away from that. But I am going to tell you this much. It was a cutscene.
We don't know how it plays.
So there was no.
The engine is not in game.
Right, thank you. That's not in game. So when you saw the actress, which by the way, she's an amazing actress.
Oh yeah, she's amazing.
Right, she is. She absolutely. My hat goes off to her. But what I'm saying to you is, when you see her doing that, and that whole thing going on, right? All right. That is not you playing, right? Thank you.
Oh yeah, we know that. Come on.
Wait a minute,
Mooch, you've been around that you can't put the banana in the tailpipe on.
Now, hold on a second. You know that I know that you know. But when I was reading people on Twitter today, they were talking like you were moving the girl going, okay, that was not the game. That was not the game. So what all I'm saying is that, like, I think that the game is going to be absolutely amazing. You know, shout out to Delilah. Look at Delilah. I love that. Let me tell you something. I love Delilah HD. She says the difference is the budget. That should tell you everything you need to know. She goes, Mooch, zip it up. Listen, Delilah, it's not fair that you get to know and I don't. You know listen, me and Delilah, you know how to get a hold of me. Let's talk. But I mean, realistically, right, the whole thing about it is this, is that I'm just trying to say, okay, maybe he's devil's advocate, maybe he's good for the show. But what I'm saying to you is everyone's talking on Twitter like that live action scene that we saw, which was Senua, which looked like Jon Snow when he pulled that sword out, right? That same gif. That's not the game. That's a cutscene. That's not you playing the game.
Correct.
So we gotta bring it back. We gotta come down. We gotta get off the helium. Come down.
No. You gotta let us rock.
But it is implying. But it is implying.
Because at the end of the day, this is what it is. It's the show. You like when you watch Ghost of Tsushima.
Yes.
Did we feel we had a controller at that part?
No,
when the cherry blossoms came out. Did you feel so? It's part of presentation.
Absolutely, Cognito. Absolutely.
And the casuals might not get it, right? Us, the hardcore, we get it. We know we ain't playing this specific scene right here. You know what I'm saying? But again, it's just about a showcase of visual fidelity. And all I want to say to Delilah's point is that, again, Ninja Theory was such a small team before this acquisition, and they created something that had so much graphical fidelity on par with a big studio, right? That we were like, wow, look how they maximized this talent with this small little group. The girl that plays I believe she wasn't even meant to be in the game. She was like doing coffee or something in the studio. She's not really.
She wasn't supposed to be in the game.
They was like, yo, get the coffee girl. Yeah, they had no budget. Get the coffee girl in here. She gonna be the main character. Like that's what they was working with. So to see them acquired with, again, I got a chance to interview Ninja Theory and the devs. And the way it was explained to me, it was like they were a small brewery or distillery, right?
Right.
And here comes Microsoft like Budweiser. You have access
that's not a good
to
analogy.
but it is not in the sense of creative control, but in the sense of resources, right?
That's right.
You have access to all of this, and we're gonna leave you alone because part of these deals, they like, look, you're not going to change our vision. We have things we want to do. So thus we get the passion project. Thus you get the blatant edges. Sometimes you're going to get a Honey Got Shrunk the Kids just because of the simple fact they have smaller teams. But to see that type of a team now with this kind of resource,
yes.
I mean, Mooch, look at the
faces.
Everybody's looking at the glass, half full for the most part.
That's right.
I love that game. That was like my game year to year that it came out. I enjoy everything of it. I kind of agree with Mooch on one thing. It's the fact that this is a lot of pressure now.
Yes.
Pressure.
Yes.
This is different. You know, when you had a 20-man team building, you know, Hellblade to basically just keep the lights on so you can build other games. You know, there was really no pressure on you. I mean, it was a pressure to basically get the game out the door.
This is
right.
Now you got 80 people. Now you got 80 more people, and you're supposed to put out a Tomb Raider game. You know, you gotta
too. You
check yourself.
Right now, like you said, Microsoft, like Budweiser said, hey, here's the bag. You know, leave you alone, make what you do. But with that type of resources comes a big responsibility.
Absolutely.
You know, trust me. For them, they gonna be sweating it a little bit.
But here's the difference, Game of Forte. The difference now is, again, we've had these devs on that are part of the Game Pass program and all that stuff. The difference is the bag is up front. A bag is up front, but you don't get the bag until it's completed. So
it's just I just think I think the expectations, like Slow-Mo said earlier, everybody's giddy right now because half of us can't see because of what we saw from Microsoft yesterday, and that's a damn shame because that's how Microsoft has done this whole generation. They left us out here starving, and when we finally get something, a nice, decent meal, we all jumping over. So and trust me, we deserve to be going through this the whole generation.
And that's the thing. That's why Forte's point is it's a question that you got to ask real quick. Let me just play the super chat. We got Sir X Man. Shout out to Sir X Man, outstanding Mooch Maniac. He says, "Outer Worlds, Hellblade 2, Xbox is starting strong." I like where he's coming from with that. And I got one more in here. Sorry, I got to scroll all the way down to my buddy Sir X Man again. Right, my apologies. Sir X Man says a little bit. It is tonight, guys. You guys are outstanding tonight. The little bit of Halo Go looked gorgeous. Facts. Absolutely correct. Guys, I want to say that real quick. Thank you for bringing that up, X-Spot. What an outstanding chat tonight. What a gracious chat tonight. Guys, over 650 people here. I am absolutely humbled. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Please tweet it out. Let people know. Hit the subscribe button. Mooch is doing this weekly. We're giving a report on Hearts and Souls out, folks. So, I mean, what do you, if it's Slow-Mo or Wilma, you guys want to jump in here, guys? Please.
I got a bucket of water for y'all. I hope y'all ready.
Yeah, I'm gonna comment after Slow-Mo too.
Please.
I already know where you're going.
All right, you guys remember the Anthem reveal, right?
Oh Lord,
that never starts good.
Trash. Most impressive game at E3 in 2017.
Trash.
And it turned out after the fact, we found out that even though they told us at the time, EA told us that was running on an Xbox One X,
right?
And it's Frostbite in engine,
right?
But it turned out it was Frostbite in engine running on some $5,000 high price PC, not running on a One X.
I wasn't the one running it on the show, I promise.
Wilmy, that was your PC.
That was Wilmy's PC.
Probably was Wilmy's PC. And the actual team at BioWare that was working on the game had no clue what that even was. Because at that point, they didn't even have much of a game.
You just answered that yourself, though, man. The difference between this Hellblade and what you saw with Anthem, no EA. There's no EA.
That's not the point. That's no Xbox. That's not the point when I'm making. It's all about
temper.
Phil Spencer did come out. Phil Spencer did drop. This is the equivalent of what it's going to be on the hardware, but he ain't really say like it's on the hardware. I mean, that
we always do. Truth. At the end of the day, it comes down to execution. You've built up the hype, and now you just gotta finish.
I just don't want. I just don't want snapshots and. I just don't want snapshots and receipts taken from this conversation because people are overzealous and happy because of this. Like, dude, I'm happy as hell. I love this. I love Hellblade. Guess what?
Absolutely.
That game did something to me that I never thought a game would ever do when it came to the way that it made me. It impacted the way I felt.
Yes.
And that's gonna be hard for them to duplicate because when I go into that game, I'm gonna be expecting that same type of atmosphere when I do it. Not saying they can't live up to it. It's just the fact that that's something that they have to do. And then you got to think now people are thinking about the budget that's behind the game. Right. You know, people before was like, oh man, 20-man team made it, man. Definitely go out and support it. $29.99. Go do it. But now people are gonna be looking at this game with like magnifying lenses and trying to find every little thing about the game that's going on. And that's the one thing that I want everybody to guard against. You know, be excited, but be be balanced in what you actually think this game's going to be.
Right.
Reasonable.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying, because I know some people in the chat are like, well, you can't compare Anthem to Hellblade. I'm like, I'm not comparing these two games. I'm not. It's not like I'm comparing the kind of games there are, or even the developers.
Slow-mo speaking from experience, y'all.
Right, I'm speaking of experience of someone who got hyped for a game and
no question. I was there with you, Slow.
Slow-mo was
you don't know what's going on. Yeah, you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. They showed the game that they hadn't even been close to building when they tried to reach what they showed. It's like they couldn't achieve that. On anything, even on PC, on regular, people's high-end PCs,
except Whoopi's PC,
all kinds of people trying to run the game and try to have it run well and consistently. So all I'm saying is that when you see something that says this is in-engine trailer, okay, that's great. But
wasn't Watch Dogs initial reveal?
I don't think anyone's ever going to do that again, where you show something and then it is a massive downgrade like that. But all I'm saying is that whenever it's in engine, you got to understand that that's not necessarily running on a Xbox Series X, and it's not necessarily exactly what the game is going to look like.
And that's why when you go on Twitter,
so I'm happy about that.
Let me comment.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say Slow-mo. Like I agree with you, man. Like it was probably running on the master race more than likely.
He's got to hit that jab in there.
You knew that was coming. You knew that,
man.
But I'll say this: I will give them the benefit of the doubt because, and I think that. Here's the thing.
Well, you give Xbox the benefit of the doubt after one show.
Let the man preach.
I'm talking about the game. I'm talking about the game, man.
They still owned by Microsoft, sir.
I will give the game the benefit of the doubt because Ninja Theory put out a good product.
Yes.
Before. And look, all they got to do is keep the same gameplay mechanics they had in the previous Sensua game and up the graphics and make it a launch title.
Oh, no, they didn't fix that gameplay, sir.
I want a little bit more in the combat. I enjoy the combat.
The gameplay, the combat got a little
bit. They could tweak it. They absolutely.
Maybe they tweak it a little bit.
I want different weapons. I want different weapons. I want different combos. I want.
I don't want
God of War fighting.
The actual combat changes up a little bit. Yeah, God of War would be perfect for this.
God of War style fighting. That'll be beautiful.
My point is, they could still take the same mechanics and beef up the graphics and launch the game like year one, new generation. This game's going to be praised for that because there's nothing else to benchmark it against.
Right.
It depends on when it releases. If it comes in the first,
I'm saying if it releases year one. Now, if it's a year 5 or 6 into the generation, it's a different story.
I think it's going to be the. I think it's going to be that second game.
No, I think it's going to be year one. I think it's going to release.
Did they put a 2020 up there?
I didn't see.
No, but this game actually, my understanding, this game has been in development.
Early development, brother.
They said early development, brother. That means you're talking about 2 years minimum. I was
wondering who was going to miss that.
That's all right. That's all right. They set the bar high. They set the bar high.
We all about
GameSpot. GameSpot had an article that came out, and GameSpot said that even though, Phil said it's in early development, they actually had started development on that before they got purchased by Microsoft.
Yes,
so not like we just started on the game 2 weeks ago, but it's like they're at least a year in,
Better for us.
Years left on.
Yeah.
Better for us, shit.
I'm thinking 2021 at the earliest, honestly. Like, we're not going to see it next year.
That's all that matters.
A few people in the chat are asking questions here real quick. Sim Vendetta, quick in the super chat. Thank you so much. He says, man, cannot wait to see what Killer Instinct 2 will look like on the Series X. That's going to be something for a sight for a lot of those folks. And then True Witty says, I came to the stream late, guys. What do you all think about the Xbox Series X, Hellblade? It looks mind-blowing. And what do you guys think of, I believe he's trying to say Ghost of Tsushima. And one of the other...
Blossom.
Shout out to everybody in the super chat. Thank you very much. But I want to say that Aiden in the chat also brought up something where he says, Mooch, I thought you were going to talk a little bit about PS5 from last night's show. And, I do want to kind of bring that up again, guys. I'll go back to that subject line that I had. No, I mean, it's just a talking point here.
No, like how everything, you tried to put it in there. And
I did. Well, listen, let's be, let's call it.
What was the question about the...
The question about PS5 was just like, what did we think about where PS5 is going to go? I think not last night's show, but I think how's PS5 going to respond? And
PS5 don't have to do anything.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to respond.
Sony don't got to do nothing. This ain't nothing. This ain't even a hiccup. Everybody in this panel was already going to buy a PS5. Their minds have not been changed because Microsoft decided to actually join the party.
Let them know, Forte.
Nope, PlayStation. PlayStation.
That is the truth, bro.
The PlayStation was already being purchased before it even got announced. I'm just letting you know, and that's how a lot of. Now, there's going to be some people. Now, this is the biggest thing that I like. A lot of people get. The reason last generation was so close is because so many people had both systems. This generation, the reason there's so much of a disparity is because a lot of people bought PlayStation and never came over to Xbox. There's more Xbox people that own PlayStations than PlayStation people that own Xbox.
That's true. That is true.
And that is the main reason why you got this disparity. So PlayStation is still going to sell no matter what. First of all, because they're just in more territories, and it is no way you can win a war if you're not everywhere.
First of all, go ahead, Forte. Go ahead.
No, and then last of all, Microsoft is finally going to give. I hope, and I'm praying. I hope that Microsoft. This is just the first step of many steps to come. Because if they keep going down this road, they're going to convince people to want to own both systems.
And I want to come back to that.
Don't do it. That's what's going to happen.
And I want to come back to that, but I do want to hit this. This is an overwhelming super chat by Wilmy Hood, who's on the chat, and I want to give the microphone to Wilmy after this.
You already bought your.
He really did. He really did.
Screen.
Listen, I got to be honest with you, Wilmy. I want to read this out loud, and then I want to give you the microphone. Wilmy says, "Some of you in the chat are exactly what is wrong with the gaming community. Gaming is the greatest hobby in the world, and some of you just try to take the joy out of it for others." Now, Wilmy, I see you a lot of times on Twitter. Always having fun, always enjoying gaming. I'm going to make an announcement next week. I'm waiting until next week because I'm going to do a huge thing with Wilmy on VR. But not getting into that. Wilmy, what is it that you're kind of depicting with that super chat? Thank you. I can tell you that personally because you're on the show. But I want to say, in all honesty, what is it that you mean by that? And what does it you mean when you tweet that out sometimes? Because you mean it, and I can tell. Because when you write, again, this is what I say. This is why I call you the Southern Mooch. When you write, I can almost hear you typing it. So, right, what do you mean when you say something like that? What is wrong sometimes with the way people in the gaming community are treating Xbox, PlayStation gaming in general?
It's like some of the asshats in the chat I'm sitting here reading. I mean, you've got some that are talking about the PS5. You got some talking about the Xbox. Here's the thing. Nobody cares about your fucking opinion, okay? I mean, we really don't. Nobody on this panel
just subscribed to Wilmy Hood just now.
We give zero fucks about your opinion. If you don't like the Xbox, don't buy it. You don't like the PS5, don't fucking buy it. Don't want a gaming PC, don't buy it. Gaming, a lot of us on this panel, we've been gaming 40 years or more.
Talk about it. Long time.
We're a bunch of old fucking gamers. We were gamers back, when it was at the bottom of the social chain.
When it wasn't, when it wasn't bigger than movies, when it wasn't bigger than TV, when it wasn't bigger than anything. Absolutely.
I was around. I was around above the guys playing Dungeons and Dragons in the school library. I mean, that's where we were. Gaming was a horrible thing. You were automatically looked down on for being a gamer.
Yes.
You had to get games imported. It was so
now
niche.
You have so many options to play games.
Wilmy, there's three stores. There's 3 stores in my local mall that are just dedicated to gaming T-shirts. I mean, how crazy is that? Right?
Exactly.
I mean, now people are walking around showing it on their shirts as they walk around. I game or I break for Link.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like everything's all over the place. And like that's the thing. Now everybody takes it for granted. But everybody on this panel, you guys have to understand that if you're new to the show or if you know Mooch for years, you know everybody on this channel for years. The one thing that I kind of call it like I don't want to call it a fraternity, but I want to call it like the community that we have is we have all of this in common that we went from a time in an era where it was like we had to kind of be like, hey, Wilmy, Cognito, Xbox, you guys gaming later. Now we can shout it from a mountain. But before,
now we do it on social media.
We had to keep it on the DL.
Yeah, you talk about it in the school parking lot.
Wilmy,
it's just funny.
Wilmy, quick question for you, man. Do you remember when the industry died in 1983?
83, yeah.
You remember that?
Oh yeah.
I was around. I mean, ET killed the industry. It did. I mean,
and it wasn't just ET though. There were so many terrible games.
Yeah, there was. I mean, I think ET was like the icing on the cake. But I mean, like it's funny that you say that, man, because it's not funny. It's true what you're saying, because we would have killed for the kind of options, and the kind of accessibility to gaming that people have today. There was a stigma on being, if you were a gamer, you were a nerd. People,
you were a nerd.
Oh yeah, man.
That stigma is still there in some ways. So
Matter of fact,
even now, you see that. Yeah.
You guys remember the movie Revenge of the Nerds that came out?
Oh, hell yeah!
What did all those guys do? They were gamers.
They were gamers,
you know. And I mean the same thing. And now, I mean, we've got so many options. I'm surrounded right here beside me. I have over $20,000 in PCs and monitors.
Woo!
You know. And
PC Master Race.
And the thing is,
that's not going away.
There's so many options.
Just got a chubby off that, man.
There are so many options.
I did. Viagra kicked in.
And, oh my god! Now you sound like you should be on my podcast. The thing is, I mean, there's so many options, and people just complain. And you know, sometimes I want a game that's in 4K. I want to play on my PC. Sometimes I just want to kick back and play my Xbox or my PS4. And every once in a while, hell, I'll grab my Switch Lite.
Let's go.
You know, sit down on the couch.
Yes.
Look, man.
Switch.
The one thing that
there's just so many options, and quit trying to suck the fun out of it for everybody else.
Yeah,
I mean, enjoy it.
Thank you.
Yeah, the one thing I want to say.
That's a message I've been trying to get out there for a long time, especially when it comes to either cartoony or realistic games. I'm like, yo, give them all to me, man.
Damn right.
Look, man.
I mean, there's a lot of games that are cartoony that are still great. I mean, look at Borderlands. I'm a huge Borderlands fan.
Yeah, Borderlands to death.
You know, I mean, it's just that simple. Either if you don't like it, that's fine. You don't have to post it all over social media and try to down somebody because they do like it.
Absolutely.
Look, the biggest thing is most people just. I mean, I understand everybody has a voice. That's the thing that social media has brung. And the one thing I really appreciate about what you said is, and you basically just came out and just said what everybody's really just thinking. You know, me personally, I love just being a gamer in general. I work around games every day. I go home, play games. Kids are all into games. And it's just this thing that, you know, you don't know how we got to where we are now, but all I remember is the experiences that it took to get to this point.
Yes.
Like everybody that's on this chat,
yes,
we wouldn't be doing this if we didn't love gaming. And the fact that everybody sits here and, you know, sometimes they say, you know, Xbox this, PlayStation that, or PC Master Rate this. You know, we all have things that we love to do, but in the end, it all comes back to just wanting to play games and be around the people that we enjoy playing those games with. I don't care if I'm on my PC playing Destiny with Cognito, or Luca calls me and wants me to come play at 30 frames per second on the Xbox. I'm gonna
come on.
But guess what? But when I say something like
you are a saint, Forte.
But when I say something like that, it doesn't mean that I don't appreciate where I came from. I love everything that gaming's done for me, and I love the things that where it's actually put me. And when people go out of their way to make it seem like it's more than just that, it's kind of, you know, it's off-putting. And that's the problem that I have.
Some of these dudes, man, I would love to be out in the real world with them. I would love to see them go buy a car or buy an appliance for their house. You know, because, I mean, if you're getting this uptight and butthurt over a video game, what the fuck is the real world like for you?
Facts. I think Wilmy nailed that.
Pretty.
Yeah,
I think some of it
we need to hang out more, Wilmy. I'm just saying, man.
Look, man, I just subscribed to you. I just hit you up.
No, you speaking.
We friends now.
And everybody on this podcast, I mean, all these guys, every one of us have thousands and thousands of hours into gaming. That's kind of, you know, like you said earlier, that's how we got here. You know, and my shit's open. If you want to check me out, look me up. Look me up on Xbox. Look me up on Stream. Look me up on PS4.
And that's why I'm kind of glad you took the mic there, Wilmy, and kind of set it straight, because that's something that a lot of people needed to hear. I want to also thank Carlos Crespin here. He says, "Did you see Yoshida and Spencer take a picture last night?
Yes.
If executives can respect one another, then so should fans. Great
Dude,
time to be a gamer." And Carlos
Facts.
he's a big PlayStation fan as well. You know, I got to be honest with you. That says a lot. And you know what? originally it kind of looked like a photo op, like something that was kind of made up, right? Especially when Reggie and Sean Layden and Phil got on stage, it almost looked like
last year.
It looked like you got on stage with. It looked like you got on stage with 3 of your ex-girlfriends and like we're all friends now, right? It's not true. But I mean, at the same time, right? I get that, and I think that we've all got to come together and see that the communities are blending, whether we like it or not. We are the executives are pushing us together into the same pool, and that's the way it is. So now all of a sudden you're looking left, looking right, like, well, who are these people in the pool? These people weren't here last year. We are all gamers. We're all playing the same thing, and we're enjoying the same content. And usually, guys, I end abruptly at 9, and I just want to ask the panel a question. I want to go down because, here we are talking about the Game Awards, okay? And it was the big controversy that, of course, Death Stranding was just going to win. Right. And it won a decent amount of awards. And listen, I'm a big Death Stranding fan, so I'm a bit biased. But I will say this much: Sekiro is a beautiful game. It is a skill game, and I got news for you. I don't know what happened in the past 24 hours. Partially I blame the award going to Sekiro, and partially I blame Enrique. Right? Because he got me so excited that I am starting tomorrow, and I'm going to start. You know what? Because I don't care how far I am, and I don't care that I already beat that butterfly. What is it?
Butterfly
lady. I beat her already, and I'm going to have to do it again. I want to start from the beginning and get the essence of the game again. That being said, I want to hear what you guys think. How do you guys feel that the game of the year? Do you believe it went to the right victor?
Well, hold on, Mooch. Am I the only one on the panel predicted that Death Stranding wasn't going to win Game of the Year anyway?
No, you're not.
All right, I was feeling really unique at that point in time.
Nah, bro.
I'll be one of two. It's okay. I'll be
one of two.
Yeah, I mean,
I was happy. No, I'm saying I was happy. I was sitting stream. I was talking. I was like, Smash, I felt like was the most complete game that came out, but I said if I had a dark horse that should win, it was Sekiro, and I was pleasantly surprised when it won because it definitely deserved it. And the one thing I will say about the Game Awards that basically happened over the course of the whole show, a lot of minds were changed over how pissed off people were up to 48 to 72 hours before it, compared to how that show ended up going throughout the whole thing. People completely forgot that they didn't like Jeff Keighley for a while.
I agree. What's funny is I had that conversation with people because I was like, once they see those reveals, they're going to...
And it's a completely different narrative. And that's the one thing, like I said, I always said I didn't think
Sekiro was better than Last Jedi. Why they ain't mention that? Because Last Jedi was fucking dope, and that shit got 9 out of 10s from everybody. Where the fuck was that at? That shit wasn't even made.
Hey, nobody knows what cutoff date was on it. All I care is Death Stranding shouldn't have won. It didn't. So I'm happy.
No doubt.
How do you guys? What about you, Cognito? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was obviously we know that quote unquote controversy, but at the end of the day, I felt personally that Sekiro was the game that when I looked at the gaming community as a whole when it released, that was the game people seemed unified in agreement and were streaming the most. You seen people fighting certain bosses.
We was watching Kid Spoof go crazy.
Yeah, like it felt like that game, in my opinion, had a unified front that for the most part, everybody agreed.
Right.
No disrespect, but it was a last year's game. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I was like, okay with that. Resident Evil was phenomenal, and obviously could have won. There's no doubt.
Remake should never win.
But that's what I felt that because it was.
Nah, you can't say that. Nah,
yeah,
I'm just
this is a straight up remake. Like this ain't a remaster.
It's a remake.
It's a remake of an existing thing. All I'm saying is not. It's something that it's an idea that
it has to be credited for its merits. It has to be credited.
It's credited for its merit, but it's not an original idea.
It's not an original.
Of course it is. It's an original. It's an original idea reimagined.
Well, you know what?
Okay, so what?
A remix isn't something new.
If it surpasses what's out there, then it does. If it surpasses what's out there, it has to be recognized.
I'm not saying that it doesn't deserve the nomination. I'm not going What I'm saying is a lot of people are going to look at that game and say, yes, it was great, but they may subtract from it winning a game
because you're putting your own personal bias.
I'm not putting my personal bias. I'm just telling you what people are telling me in reference to the game.
No, Cognito, when I say you, I don't mean you, Cognito. I mean you in generalizing. Like people put their own personal bias on it, like Forte just said. Hey, a remake should never win. That's fucking bullshit. You can't say that, though.
But you can make the argument.
That game was
you can make the argument. I'm not saying that you can make the argument.
I'm not saying a remake should never win. I'm just saying, in my eyes, of a game is an idea that was already had, that was fine, mastered, bring out to a newer audience of people that never probably played it before.
Right.
But the idea in the game is still the same way. I know how some of us literally argued about this 30 minutes in our party.
Here's the fault with that argument, because all these games are.
I need Luca here.
Thank you, Shlomo. That's what I was going to say. That's what I was going to say. But good
just by the fact that it's the same story completely dismisses the fact that it's a completely different control scheme. Completely dismisses the fact that they completely rebuilt the game from the ground up with a completely different
I feel the same way about Final Fantasy 7. That's amazing. Completely different game.
It completely forgets the fact that back then you didn't have motion capture or performance capture, but that was used in this game to get facial animations to be so amazing. They may have put more money and more work into that game than Sekiro got. Not saying it deserved to win because it got more money was spent on it, but all I'm saying is that the developers who worked on that
game,
that's
what it sounds like.
You gotta respect the product. You gotta respect the product that they put out. The product they put out is phenomenal.
Right. There should be a
when you say it doesn't it doesn't deserve to win because of this, but they may have put more work and time and money into it than that other game. That's dismissing all the work that was put into it. I think it was, even though I'm not even a Resident Evil fan, but I think the game was so well received and well liked by so many people. Even people,
I was telling you what the consensus of people felt in reference to that game. I'm just telling you about from what I seen. Looking at the Twitter's verse, right? All I'm saying is, I'm going back to Sekiro for a second.
Both sides.
I'm not playing both sides. I'm not playing both sides.
I need you to tell me how you feel about it.
How I feel. I am me personally, right? I cannot give Game of the Year to something that is there's already a trace, there's already a foundation, something that's completely built and existed, and now you're just bringing it back. That's just me personally.
That is your bias, right? That's your personal feeling.
That's how I feel. That's my your opinion is it can win.
So wait, let me.
All I'm saying, back to the whole point. Now let's get back on track.
Let's get back on track here. That's right.
Which is all the other categories, right? Which was Outer Worlds. I said, okay, that was a great game. You know what I'm saying? However, is it big enough to win Game of the Year? Maybe RPG. Is it big enough to win? And then we had the last one. I believe it was Devil May Cry up there?
Devil May Cry 5.
Devil May Cry 5, which was good. And then you had Control. You know what I'm saying? So I looked at it and I said, okay, which in my opinion had a lot of the people? And I felt it was Sekiro. Just based on my perception. So that's why when it won, I'm like, you know what? That's cool. You know what I'm saying? I had no problem with it because I honestly thought the competition was so stiff because of Resident Evil 2, how much it was loved. Because of Control. People, as much as I didn't really care, people love Control.
I'm one of them.
So you saying Resident Evil 2 remake set the bar?
Yes. Resident Evil 2 remake was so good that it made people go, yo.
So how could it not win?
It could easily have won. I'm just saying that's not something.
Well, now wait a minute, Knox. You made a good point right there. How could it easily have not won? But the point of the matter is, though, Cognito kind of was like, he answered you correctly with, it could have, but it didn't. Right? But the thing is, he just made a case. He just made a case for almost every single one of the nominees. So what I'm saying to you is this, and this is the question I want to ask you, Knox. I want to ask the panel. Is I almost feel like. And I hate to say it like this because it sounds like it's conspiracy theory.
Let's go.
But I feel like they almost had to be like, listen, Death Stranding can't win. right? Right? Come on, look.
He got robbed.
I do. I think that they were like he can't win because it discredits the union. It discredits the show.
And we can't give it. And we can't give it to Outer Worlds.
No. And listen, I'm okay. Listen, by the way, I am proud to say that Sekiro won. Like it deserved it. That's like the mechanics, the look, the feel, the act, the story, amazing all the way through. So listen, no problem. Myself personally, I beat Control throughout. Like I played everything. I've done every single thing in that game, and I got to be honest with you. I personally was hoping that if Death Stranding didn't get it, I was looking forward to Control, because here's my thing. I've always been a Remedy fan. Okay, you go back to the initial Max Payne, right? Back in the day, the early ones, right? And I will say that I liked Quantum Break, but I think Quantum Break was kind of a speed bump. You know,
Control's a remake of Quantum Break.
It is. Here we go. It's a hold on. Wait. It's a polished. It's a polished Quantum Break. You know, I feel like it just worked a little bit smoother. They put a little bit more into the guns.
The games are tied in together.
Yeah, exactly. So no, I'm not. Again, I like Quantum Break. I beat Quantum Break. I love Quantum Break, but Control for me would have been the go-to if Death Stranding. Sekiro, no issue at all. But do you guys feel, again, this is a great talking point. Do you guys feel like that Death Stranding had to get snubbed? They gave it. They gave it everything else, right? Like best art graphic, best this, best that. You know, everything. It won everything but Game of the Year.
Mooch.
They did what they did to Red Dead.
Mooch, you got snubbed because, you know, like as Cox said earlier, the fans spoke out.
Well, I mean, they defeated the great evil.
There is so much joy in pissing on people and throwing shit bombs at them there. So I mean,
you know what? I said this when I was in the Xbox Live party, and Forte, you can co-sign this. I said when Kojima went up to accept the award for, I can't remember what it was, game direction or something like that.
Best game director, direction.
I said interesting. He didn't go up there for the previous two awards they won. He went up there for this one. I told Forte, he ain't winning Game of the Year. He already knows he's not winning Game of the Year, so he's going to go up for
Jeff
the
whispered
last
his ear.
one.
You don't got it this year.
So I knew then he wasn't going to win it.
That's right.
It's the same as last year with God of War and Red Dead. Red Dead had all the songs from Red Dead were performed.
Songs, voice actor, everything. Because same thing happened here, right? So Mads Mikkelsen won best actor or whatever it was portrayed in a gaming series, and that's great. Mads was great, but I'm just saying, like, they won everything but. And that's when once everybody was like, "Oh, it's rigged! It's rigged!" You saw Twitter, right? We were all on Twitter last night. It's rigged. There's Death Stranding number 3, Death Stranding number 4, and I was like, "Dude, that means they ain't winning the big one. They ain't winning the big one."
Which is interesting considering there's supposed to be this big panel that they're all voting, yet it seems very scripted.
Yeah,
Public pressure.
Yes.
I'm just saying, it seems like it's not like how they say it is. I'm just like, I don't know. I'm not calling conspiracy. I'm
picking it outside. They were picking it.
Conspiracy.
Talk about it. They were picking it.
It looks fishy. I got 2 years in a row where we can pretty much predict who the winner is going to be at the end.
Ryan Landers in the chat goes, they didn't want a Twitter riot to hit. It's a fact.
I want to chime in real quick about Sekiro. I want to say something. Death Stranding was definitely my game of the year because it was one of those games we're year 6 into the console generation.
Oh, Lord, sir.
Here we go.
Hey, don't Lord Forte.
Hey, wait. I can't give that game this. I can't give that game. I got my collection.
You never played that game.
I want that controller. I want that controller, Forte.
They don't even say Bridges on this dang suitcase I opened. I just opened this box up and they don't even say Bridges.
Forte doesn't play games except for Destiny.
Whoa. Come on.
Enrique. Next Transformers.
Wait, did you platinum God of War?
Oh.
I don't know what you did either. You didn't either. So,
I can pull it up right now.
You still got in the box, man. It's okay. Hey, how's Spider-Man looking? So
I ain't talking about Spider-Man. I'm talking about God of War.
But I'm talking about Spider-Man. So here, I talk about.
Did you get the full 1,000? The full 1,000.
I want to talk about Death Stranding real quick. So
keep it moving, brother. Keep it moving.
You know, I think
it was a perfect call.
Besides Destiny, the only game that Forte's played in 3 years is God of War.
No play, sir, on 2 platforms.
All right, so I want to talk about so Death Stranding, that was my game of the year.
And Crackdown 3.
No, Crackdown 3 is not my game of the year. Death Stranding was my game of the year because it's one of those games that at this point in the console generation, we've played so many games. It was my criticism of Star Wars Fallen Order that I felt like it borrowed so much from so many games that I already played.
Yeah.
I think I had Star Wars Fallen Order released 2 years in the console generation, I would definitely feel different about it.
Yes.
Right.
But Death Stranding was one of those games that was so memorable because it was so unique. It wasn't anything that I hadn't already experienced at year 6 into this console generation. So that was my game of the year. And I thought that, I thought Cognito kind of ruined my, I'm just kidding.
The people have spoken.
Yeah, exactly.
We had to stop the corruption.
But I will say the Sekiro deserve. I didn't have any issues with Sekiro. I'll tell you why, or Sekiro as Forte calls it. With Sekiro, it's a nod to the hardcore, to the base.
Yes,
it's a nod to the base because it's not a game I don't think that casuals would pick up and like. You know what I mean? Because it's demanding. It's that get good game. There's no easy. There's no moderate difficulty. There's no hard difficulty. It's how we grew up playing games back in the days. You guys remember Ghosts and Goblins?
Oh yeah, talk about it.
There's no difficulty levels. It was this is what it is, and you got to play it.
Yep.
And to me, it was just a nod to the base, the people that build the foundation of the gaming community. You know what? This game of the year because it to me it speaks to us, the hardcore. Right. And I was and honestly, I think From has been one of the best developers this console generation with with Sekiro and with what's it called? Geez, now I sound like Vin Diesel. I'm forgetting names to games now. With Tenken, yeah.
Tenken.
Yeah. But it's a nice nod, I think, to just the base, the hardcore, because Sekiro is not an easy game.
Yeah,
it's almost simplistic in some ways, but its game design, its mechanics are so masterful. The way they implemented a lot of the parrying, the blocking, it just the traversal. I mean, they did so, and you know what? It worked when it released.
Yes.
Yeah.
They weren't any of these big patches.
That's what I was trying to say, and you nailed it right there, Enrique. The game was absolutely solid. The second I played it, the minute it came out, and the second I played it, everything was butter. Everything played amazing. That's what I'm talking about.
I meant to say Dark Souls, by the way. So it's just, to me, it was a great pick. And regarding the Resident Evil thing, Cog, I understand what you're saying. It's not a new game.
It's going to be a 2-hour podcast. I'm dying on that. So I don't care what y'all. I get what y'all say. I
get it.
But I can say this. I could bring Pog out and win Game of the Year and ice it out. Come on, y'all. Come on. I'm not, and I'm a Resident Evil fan. Resident Evil 2 is the GOAT to me. But come on,
it's not easy to take games.
I could take somebody's rap and make a new song and say this is.
No, you can't do that. No, you can't, because we got mumble rap nowadays. You can't do that.
That's what we doing. That's what we doing.
I understand what you're saying. It's easy, and I get that.
It's not the same thing, bro. It's not.
But it's not easy.
I'm gonna come out with Rappers Delight 2020. It's a new song. I'm gonna top the charts.
Redman did. He almost topped the charts.
I'm gonna top the charts. It's new because this, according to y'all rule, I just take somebody's joint, ice it out, and it's new, and I'm the hottest rapper. I'm the hottest.
You better ice it out. Legit. Right, like you're gonna tell me that Snoop Dogg's Lottie Dottie wasn't dope? Even though
So it was the best song that year. Snoop Dogg's Lottie, according to you, was the best song that year.
But Doggy Style album.
I like original thought. I like original ideas. What I'm saying is, the Doggy Style album was the best album that year. Right,
correct?
that's an album. That's a collection of tracks.
But he paid respect to Lottie Dottie, and that shit was dope.
Oh man, that's
right. And then the other shits was just hot too. Meaning,
but give me nothing but a G thing. Give me nothing but a G thing. Don't give me Lottie Dottie.
I just want to say this. Like, I understand what you're saying, but I do think there's something to be said about taking a game with old mechanics, outdated mechanics,
and put it into the new generation.
Yeah, that's not easy.
No, that's fantastic. I love the game. What's funny is I'm hating, but I love that game. Don't get me wrong.
It's a great game. Dude, I get your point, but I think we can't overlook the fact that it's not easy.
I will say this:
the mechanics.
In your defense, I will say this: it was cool to see a generation of gamers that never experienced what we experienced with this level of updated control and just the graphical fidelity. Like, that game is the go-to. I'll never forget when I saw Mr. X for the first time. Right? And how that thing changed gaming. This character that chased you and broke the rules, so to speak, right? He did. The zombies are sitting outside the safe room. Now these guys breaking through walls. Like, I'll never forget. So to see the generation really adopt to it was special. And I will give you that. It's a great game. I will not take nothing away from that part.
That's the truth. That's the truth. But I think it really comes down to what we were saying earlier on in this conversation is like, when I saw Sekiro win, I was saying, you know what? I kind of felt like excited for the people that made the game from Software, because that's a talented group of people. And then I kind of felt like it was like, man, if this panel right now that we have assembled right here, if we were the team that made that game, I'd be like, yo, they gave us that shit. You know what I mean? Like I'd be like, you know what? I'd be like, Kojima would have looked back at our row and been like, just like wink, like, enjoy that shit. You know what I mean? Like, I kind of feel like it was done that on deliberate, because if he had won, it would have been an up. Let's be honest. Let's play. Wait.
I thought the Outer Worlds.
Oh, Xbox. Let me tell you something. I tried that game, and God bless everybody that loved it. God bless all you people.
Well, no,
damn it, Mooch.
No, Cognito, please. Cognito. That was like a homework assignment. I haven't done that much reading since 12th grade English. Come on, man.
It's not like this, Mooch.
Come on, man. Like,
that's
really?
That's subsidiary dialogue choices. We grew up on Mass Effect.
But Cognito, that's the thing. See, I'm not a Mass Effect fan either. That's my problem. See,
it makes sense.
Dude, listen, now, Cognito, hear me out. You guys know Mass Effect 2, right? You know the Citadel, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
You remember that? I had to go to Total Recall to not remember that. That was too goddamn long. Who wants to do that much homework?
If Outer Worlds is like that, I gotta get that shit done.
If you like
Mass Effect status, hell yeah.
With the dialogue and the companions and all that,
that's my favorite series.
But
if you guys like that, if you guys like that, then Outer Worlds is your that's your jam. Yeah,
that's why right there when it came out, there was such a wide range of people who were getting into that game at that point in time. And if you think about it, the way the voting goes, having the gaming media doing the voting, I thought they were going to give like a big middle finger to Bethesda and what they did with Fallout 76, and then coming out with a subscription for Fallout 76, and the way that they were going to express it is like, no, this is the type of game that we want from over there as well, which is why I thought like the Outer Worlds was going to win. But yo, shout out to Sekiro, they did an amazing job. They got Game of the Year. At the end of the day, you know, it's an award. I'm not big on awards, but I know that dev team had to be pumped after that, man.
No doubt.
Yo, no doubt.
Well, you know, a lot of people are shocked. Like, I've said this for years now. This is nothing revealing tonight. I just, for some reason, listen, I give respect to Mass Effect.
Dude,
I give respect to Outer Worlds. But that, for me personally, when I got to sit there and get a fetch quest, right, just a side quest, no big deal, may not even attribute to an achievement or anything substantial in the story. And it's like, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? But Outer Worlds, right? They give you the dead eyes. Like, you're looking at the NP, and it's like, I don't know, but for some reason, the batteries are 17 fields to the left. I don't got time for that shit. Look at, I work.
But you're not willing to do that, but you're willing to carry FedEx packages.
Let me tell you something, Cognito. Have you ever? Let me tell you something. All right,
ready to be a modern day UPS man.
Cognito. Listen, I know you could do the crawl stroke in the pool, right? I know you could do that. But I know when you get to the end of the pool, you can't do that flip like the Olympic folks do, right? That's a special flip. Then here's my point, right? This is my thing. When you're doing Death Stranding, you're using every single finger you have on the controller.
Oh, man.
That's like when you do the crawl stroke to do that special flip at the end. That is a crazy thing. You cannot do that.
I'm going to take you to the UPS depot, and I'm going to have you do all that in real life.
But my whole thing, my whole thing is when you're sitting there and you're playing that game at the end. And Outer Worlds is a beautiful game, by the way. It is a beautiful game. I think the artwork is gorgeous. But when you're in that mundane, that just that very, very monotone like speech going back and forth, I don't know how you guys did that. I don't know how you did. I couldn't get past 3-4 hours in. I was falling asleep. I was like, I can't. I just can't.
I think you nailed it. Go ahead, X-Pac.
My bad. The one thing about the Outer Worlds that I thought was absolutely hysterical was when I gave it a couple hours, 2 hours to check it out and see and stuff like that. Yo, I hyped up one of like the soldiers. I hyped her up so bad. I'm like, yo, you can't take out these. Like, no, it's on you. Yo, she got so excited. She grabbed her gun, picked up her gun, ran around the rock, got shot right in the head and dropped. I started rolling, man. That was
to Mooch's point, though. Like I said, if he didn't like those style, like those Mass Effect dialogue choice style, he is not gonna like that.
So Cognito, so can you roll? So I like that you made the point you made because you're the first person on the show that rolled with me with this because you get it. What I'm trying to say is that a lot of people keep saying, "Oh, Outer Worlds is just like Fallout," but it's more like Mass Effect. Like
it's more Mass Effect.
So for me personally, someone in the chat, shout out to I think it was Matt in the chat. He says, "But Mooch, you're telling me you didn't like Outer Worlds, but you liked Fallout 76." My thing with Fallout 76 was you can make fun of that it was buggy and broken. I'm gonna agree with you. There was no talking in that shit. You just start the game. You played the game.
Go ahead.
You know?
You go ahead.
And that's my whole thing is even with something as crazy as, and people go, with Death Stranding, and to kind of just piggyback off of Enrique before we end the show here, is that Death Stranding, that the acting that went into that between Matt and Norman Reedus and the other folks that they picked up that were just crazy. That one, and by the way, that woman that plays Mama, let me find out. That girl is fine. But I mean, she's fine. But like my whole point is like that's just a great group of actors coming together and making a wholesome dialogue. And whether it's wild or it's crazy. Listen, Starship Troopers, I know you all watched that movie. Oh, yeah. Remember Starship Troopers?
Oh, yeah.
If I told you to sit down and you're like, well, Mooch, what are you going to make me watch? I'm going to make you watch this movie where you have these people have these blasters and they're going to kill these giant bugs. You're like, yo, I'm out. Right? Like, but the point of the matter is that it's a good movie, and this is a good game. If you told
me that description, I'd be like, hell yeah, let's go, man.
Well, yeah, some people would be into it, but I mean, like, some people have a hard time tying themselves down to Death Stranding and getting involved with the story.
Right, it's the commitment.
Yeah. I get it. It is a commitment, and that's the same thing.
Have you beat it yet?
Say again?
Have you beat it?
No, I'm on chapter 7. I got 52 hours, and I'm on chapter 7. By the way, in case you guys are wondering what that noise is, that is Gaming Forte throwing his microphone against the wall until he hits the bullseye.
It is not Forte throwing his microphone.
You're doing
Forte.
I must have been doing something. I apologize.
That's okay. It's all good. Around in his desk chair. He was just
right.
No, that was Forte trying to get a little bit further in Spider-Man.
He was reaching to put Spider-Man in his PS4. No, listen, guys, we are at 9:30, guys. I have kept these fine folks, these fine gamers, these fine gentlemen here way too long. I did that on purpose to spite Enrique. I kept him captive from his family. But listen, here's the thing, guys. Honestly, outstanding show. What an amazing panel. What an absolutely amazing chat. You guys, this is what it's all about. It's gaming. It's passion. There's no wrong answer. It goes back to what Wilmy was saying. Enjoy what you enjoy. And listen, guys, I think a lot of times, and honestly, Cognito, I've said this on your show a bunch of times too. Like, this is a talk show.
Yes.
Like, I like a talk show. If Cognito and me and Slow-Mo have gotten into it, me and Enrique have totally gotten into it. You know what I mean? Like,
no media bias.
No, man, plenty of media buyers. No, I'm okay. That's another show for another week. But I mean, realistic, right? You have to have this. It makes for great podcasting. That being said, let's go down the list of people that were here tonight. And I want to say thank you again to everybody. I'll go in reverse order as much as I could, but maybe I'm not good at that. Wilmy Hood, first of all, Wilmy, let me say this much. First of all, thanks for being who you are in the community. Second of all, thanks for the shows that you do, because not only do you bring gaming to the forefront on your channels, but you also bring horror movies and different subjects that all tie into this sci-fi world that we enjoy to be in. And thank you so much for your generous contributions to my channel and things that keep the Mooch just kind of alive, if you will. Wilmy, let everybody know where they can find you, and I hope you'll be on the show again real soon. Did we lose Wilmy? I mean, I can plug him.
Get that man
I can plug him.
Pull him out of those computer monitors. Come on.
I got news for you. If you guys don't know, Wilmy, I got Wilmy's information right up there. You got Wilmy at Wilmy Hood on Twitter, and on YouTube it's Wilmy Hood. He probably just went. I went so long, he's probably taking a bathroom break. I don't blame him. That's what happens when you're on Mooch's show. It goes a little too long sometimes. That's my fault. That's a me problem. That being said, I've also got my friend here, Enrique from BRAP Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. Enrique, yo, honestly, dude, it's electric when you're on the show, man. You're controversial and informative, and I love that. That's what makes CrossFire. Let everybody know where they can find you, brother.
Absolutely, man. Hey, thank you again, man. It was a pleasure. Hey, it was nice doing 2 podcasts with you this week, man. It was great. So
awesome.
Yeah, definitely appreciate being on Crossfire. Guys, you can find us on YouTube at the Basement Radio Arcade Podcast. We podcast every Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also find us on the Twitters at BRAP_podcast.
Awesome, Enrique. Thank you for being here. It truly means a lot. And then I've got my buddy here, Noximus, Maximus, Dominus, Moochimus, it's fantastic. Let King know I want him to add that. If he doesn't mind, will King add that on Sunday, please?
It's all the must.
Nox, let everybody know where they can find you, buddy. And listen, I know you've got a heck of a schedule in your personal life, but we've got to get a little bit more of you on YouTube, buddy, because you're just so animated and so passionate about what you do that I think the community's missing you, brother. Let people know where they can find you.
Thanks, Mooch, man. Like always, man, it's a pleasure to be on Crossfire, brother. This panel is phenomenal. Show is always phenomenal. Y'all know how we get it in. Y'all know how we do. This shit was hot. And yeah, bro, like I want to get it in on YouTube, but right now I just have things that I have to take care of. But you can check out my stuff. You can check out my stuff at D-Nox We Trust. You know, and when these gracious gentlemen like Crossfire Podcast with Mooch, and of course, you know what I'm saying, the next podcast, Xbox 448, you know what I mean? And the crap gamers jump off, you know what I'm saying? Xbox Nation, Wednesday, you already know, man. Like
it's coming back.
I always want to, you know what I mean? But I gotta do what I gotta do for now. But this shit was awesome. I've taken up a lot of fucking
well, Nox, I appreciate you being here, man. It's always a great time when you're here, buddy. Thank you. And then I've got my buddy Slow-Mo, Backslap. Slow-Mo, you know what's great is, here's what's interesting about me and Slow-Mo. Early on when we used to podcast, we'd be a little bit on the opposite sides of the coin. Lately, same side. Figure that one out. Same side, because what Slow-Mo says, I think is gospel. Slow-Mo, outstanding work on your YouTube channel, by the way, too, because what YouTube does, what he
got that Mooch check, man. That's what
listen, checks in the mail. No, for real though. To be honest with you though, Slow-Mo does a realistic thing on YouTube that a lot of us don't do. He takes a look at what he's feeling, what's going on in the current time in the gaming news, and he puts that shit on video, if you will, and it's realistically different than everything else. It's not just the news that's going on, it's what he feels should be the news. And Slow-Mo, I applaud you for that. I love your channel. Let people know where they can find you, please.
Yeah, Mooch, appreciate that. You know, I don't think we on the opposite side all the time.
Not in a bad way, good way.
Yeah. It's always a good way. It's always good banter. You know, it's good entertainment. You know.
Yes.
But yeah. You guys can catch me on my YouTube channel, Slow-Mo Backslap. You can also catch me on Twitter with the same name. And you also can see me on. Sorry, that's my kid screaming in the background. You can also catch me on Luca.
Daddy, I want meatloaf.
The Ash and Lucas channel tomorrow at 12 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, 12 p.m. Eastern. We're probably going to do just a quick show talking about pretty much the same things we're talking about here, except it's going to be Lucas, so it's going to be a lot more high pitched than a lot of screaming.
Oh man.
I'm gonna tell her.
Go ahead and check us out. And guys, great show. Loved it. Yeah, great topics, great conversations. You guys, we're so different and diverse, so it's always going to be some fireworks going on. So
absolutely,
I love it, man. I love it.
Yes,
I got receipts on you, Slow-Mo.
Oh, Lord.
No receipts. No receipts here.
There are no receipts.
This is 100% Italian podcast. There's absolutely no receipts. You were never here. Hear me out, okay? Thank you. That's how we run our business, all right?
You don't have to worry about that because there's no possible receipts on me. I am all cash. Person in the
straight cash, homie.
Receipts.
Yes.
No receipts on me.
Yes.
I'm always right.
Go.
That's my man. Slow-Mo, I love that about you, man. That's true. It's very true. And then I've got, the leader of the Lord, Iron Lord's podcast, Lord Cognito. Listen, Lord Cognito, me and you, we met up a bit ago, and man, It's been nothing but absolute harmony, man. Having you on the show is just like, honest to God, it feels like I podcast with you weekly. So
yeah, man.
Feel like this is your home. Realize that you're always welcome here. I always feel very comfortable when I'm with the Lords on Sunday morning. Do me a personal favor. Let everybody know where they can find you. And I know you got a hell of a show coming up on Sunday.
Thank you, brother. You already know at Lord Cognito on Twitter. First of all, shout out to the panel. Like CrossFire, you guys are amazing. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that you said, Mooch, and we always talk about it, we love podcasts where we actually could disagree respectfully.
Yes.
And that's what you're bringing, and it's been tremendous. And just some friends that I know, and X-Bot and Brap, and everybody's in the bed. Knox is going for my head too. I'm loving this. Like this is amazing. And we could all be on one side, and then on a completely opposite of the next.
Yes,
but that's what makes gaming great. And at the end of the day, it is the unifying factor. You know what I'm saying? We've always talked about it. We've always preached it. You already know where I'm at, Lord Cognito on Twitter. Iron Lord Podcast. Every Sunday is the Lord's Day. Still 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We might have some special guests roll through the realm. We got to keep you on your toes for that. But it should be a big show. We're going to have a lot to talk about, of course. And again, please check out the channel. Support us. We have Last Word is a Destiny podcast. And of course, my man, King David with the King of Statues and Combat Talk. Please support. We really appreciate it. And last but not least, lordsofgaming.net, y'all. Really see the retweets and the love going there. We got some fine writers. Really appreciate the support you guys are giving. And again, great show. Thanks for having me, Mooch, man. This is fantastic.
Anytime, Lord Cognito, the door is always open. And guys, please do check out what Lord Cognito just said. The Iron Lords podcast puts together an unbelievable show on Sunday, but besides that, they've got unbelievable reviews and people that write for them. And I believe Nick from Nick and
Yes.
what is it? It's Undead. I always forget Nick, right? He was going to be on tonight, but he got tied up on another show. But Nick will be on hopefully next week. So check out everything that Lord Cognito just said. He's just puts together unbelievable work, and it's all top quality. Thank you, Lord Cognito, for being here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. And then last but certainly not least, the man that I think is in the industry who knows what's going on. I love his positivity on Twitter. I love what he does on the show. Nautical Gaming Forte. You pick the name you want to be called. Forte, thanks for being here tonight, and let everybody know where they can find you.
Yo, man. As always, it's always an honor to be on CrossFire, and it's always an honor to be around friends and family. Got the Brat family up in here. We only missing two of our brothers in arms. I got my man Cognito. It's always good to have him on vacation because I get to see him more. And Mooch, man, you always giving everybody a voice. I always appreciate that. And Knox and Wilmy Hood, you guys are all solid in my book. But like you said, man, Gaming Forte on Twitter, YouTube, formerly known as Somo Backslap, but he makes videos now because his content is way better than mine, unfortunately. But no, for real.
We be doing this now?
but oh no, yeah, you me now. You have surpassed me, sir. So but for real though, Xbox is in a really great place right now. They have made me want to start bringing out content because for a while I just felt like it wasn't really worth it because I was like, Xbox ain't doing nothing that even excites me, and that's all changed. So let's just hope they keep going down the same road, and trust me, and if they keep doing it, the content will keep coming. So check out the website, check out the YouTube if you definitely want to know more about that.
Let me just say this much. So I just checked with Wilmy. Wilmy, I gave you a plug when you were out, but I want to give you the opportunity to say it yourself. Wilmy, let everybody know where they can find you, and thank you so much for everything you do in the community. You help every one of us out, including myself. Let people know where they can find you, where your shows are, and where you are on Twitter.
It's easy to find me. Just type in Wilmy Hood into Google. You can find me just about anywhere. You can find me on Twitter, Facebook, Jesus Christ, Instagram, Twitch. I'm on Wednesday nights. I have a podcast. It's called Gaming Beyond the Box, and we're a completely unorthodox gaming podcast. You won't hear anything else quite like it, I promise.
I love it. I guessed it on the show, and it was an absolute blast.
And matter of fact, this coming Wednesday night, Miss Ashen Luca herself will be on my show.
Oh, I'll be front row.
All right.
We do things a little differently. We like to interact with the chat, and this week we're going to have people come onto the show live and sing Christmas carols for a Switch.
Oh,
okay.
Oh man, I gotta get
whoever comes on and sings.
Might have to start singing.
I gotta get my baritone fixed up.
If they don't get the gong, they will win the Switch.
Wilmy, you better hope they haven't listened to like John Falvey or something. He had a Christmas album that I don't know, bro. I'm gonna work
on my.
We did it for the Star Wars game. We had people come on the show and do the Wookiee call.
Wow.
And we had a lot of people coming on to do it, man. So, but we're all about interaction, trying to help everybody out, man. We're just trying to make gaming positive again, because it's just there's just so much.
I can already see it in 2 days now. The kids are gonna be like, "Why is Dad upstairs singing Baby It's Cold Outside?" I'm rehearsing for a Switch Lite. Okay, that's the way it is. Listen. Right? Oh, listen, Enrique's got that voice. There it is.
He's ready.
I do want to say this much, guys. I want to say thanks to Jay the Matrix Gamer. He couldn't be here tonight. Usually he mods the chat, as well as Lethal Papa. Shout out to Lethal Papa, who does a great job modding the chat as well. Big time gamer, available on Twitter. He's always here on Friday nights as well. But shout out to @JMatrix76, who helped me set this all up months ago and make what you guys are watching and enjoying all the things that I'm able to promo people and the great graphics, all from Jay the Matrix Gamer. So shout out to Jay. And I also want to take a quick second here to thank Sean LeBray, the great Sean LeBray, the graphic artist that helps so many people on Twitter and YouTube make themselves look how great we all look. So his information is also up on the screen. That being said, guys, really, I can't say it enough. I want to say thank you to every single person that's here on the panel. Thanks to the chat. Guys, we'll be back next Friday, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. And check out Mooch on Twitch. Same thing, the Mooch78. Guys, have a great night. Game on. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you.
Peace.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.